I mean, watching that match, it was entirely one-sided against a team ENCE that is proficient on this map. So, given that both teams, Liquid and FaZe, hail from Brazil, I'm guessing there's a little bit of information sharing here, and Mindfreak's probably going to have a rough time of it. Kitchen and Trophy, the first bomb site from Mindfreak. No surprises in the operator selection. We're seeing Legion yet again, but if you're just joining us for the Invitational, he's actually been heavily played throughout this group stage. Definitely an operator that a lot of teams are favoring right now. On the other side, Team Liquid bringing Capital on Sexy Cake. Questionable where that's going to be actually helpful for the team. Possibly for a B rush, but overall, an interesting operator selection. He's not exactly the sort of op that you need on this defense. Most of the time when you see a Capital Broad, it's for an organ basement attack. You got to disable that mirror window, or just in general, somewhere where any map where you need a particular spot disabled. So find out what that spot is from Team Liquid once they begin their execution. Magnet's setting up inside of office. He's going to be going for some cams outside, and there is a heavy emphasis placed on this top floor, as you can tell from those reinforcements and player positioning.
A cam prime potentially for a run out. That's something we've seen Mindfreak do before. Both regions also like to run the Legion. Now, we saw a fair bit of Legion yesterday in the matchup against Room Factory. I will imagine that Liquid will probably bring him. I know that Sexy Cake plays Legion quite a lot, as well as Vigil most recently. And just a camera on the window to be able to assess. If you're wondering what that little sliver was, that was just the broken glass being displayed. Just sitting upstairs and waiting. Managed to open up one window by Trophy. That's where the Capital is. I like that Liquid is expecting closer engagements. That would be my assumption, given the fact that we don't see a lot of ACOGs right now, except for one or two of their operators. So, be able to get up close, which suggests to me that aggression that we know from Liquid, the fact they can jump in, jump out, get kills quickly, they'll play to their strengths.
I'm seeing Liquid just being prepared for potential aggression as well from Mindfreak. They're, like you said, they're taking it pretty slow, and they've got those low magnification scopes on, just waiting for the pushes that they expect. And I think the reason they're expecting them is because of the nature of Mindfreak. The position that they're in, they're definitely the underdogs, but they will be getting the first kill of this series. Nesk goes down. Nesk, I think yesterday, or was it the day prior, he had the best stats of any player in the group stages for the Invitational. He was on fire, so that's definitely somebody you want to have off the board early. So good job there from Magnet, good positionings of the cams, and I bet Team Liquid wish they had an IQ right about now.
Yeah, right now they've had a lot of difficulty being able to approach the site. Right now you see Sexy Cake sneaking up the west main stairs from the basement, looking to see if there's an engagement that he can take at the top. But there's nobody right now. Kings gets a kill on the Bullet, and that's going to be 2 in a row now for Mindfreak. You've lost your Twitch. But it looks like they actually kept the mirrors intact. That is very important for them. Yuka double kill as Lusty and Aces fall, and Liquid answers back, but Rizraz and Magnet there to make sure that the 2-4-2 takes place, and Zig inside a Trophy has been hurt quite a bit. He does have control of Diffuser and looks to start the plant, but he fakes just to see if he can draw somebody out. It's Rizraz right now standing inside a kitchen, who will be the first to engage before Magnet goes in himself. Looking around, Rizraz and Magnet set up for a trade. They don't even need it as Rizraz gets Zig after pushing him towards the eastern side of the room.
Good defense there from Mindfreak. Mostly attribute that to the cameras outside, the potential to apply pressure before entering the building on Chalet, and the overall seeming dominance from Mindfreak. You saw Liquid did not get step number 1 of a kitchen trophy attack down first, which is to clear that top floor. They didn't even try, which meant that when they were pushing into the bomb sites, they were able to be collapsed upon from the encroaching defense of Mindfreak. Great job there, again, from the Australians.
Mindfreak is a team that has looked better every single day. They put up a fight against Rogue, yes, but Rogue, I believe, if I remember correctly, Rogue 2-0'd them, even though both were very, very close. Against Room Factory, they still played well, map number 1, and then I think more than anything, the fact that they won 10 rounds over the next 2 matches is really something to note. I don't think there's actually been a full sweep. Every team has won at least 1 round. I mean, technically, I actually don't know if we've seen 10 round wins in a row.
10-1, I believe.
We've seen 10-1s and 10-2s.
Yeah.
So they lost on Oregon, then 10-0'd on the next 2 maps. That is very, very close. It's a 15-6 round differential. It's quite high. A Valkyrie going to be an integral component as well for Liquid, as you can see. Now that the timer ends, free to put the black eyes outside. We've got Sexy Cake playing a Jaeger up top in office too, with an ADS situated up there. And this is something we've seen a number of times. You put a Mira and you run very heavy upstairs over top of Kitchen Trophy. A lot of times this defense has a castle accompanying it though, but none here for the moment.
And Mindfreak didn't bring it either. Still about the same amount of emphasis put on the top floor. As you can see, it's going to be Sexy Cake this time. Instead of the Valkyrie of Bullet, who will be playing inside of Office, looking to prevent any pressure onto the balcony or possibly get some runouts. Meanwhile, Ness in Library is being flashbanged, but he is actually going to be the one to put the damage onto the attack, despite utility use from Mindfreak. Falling back into the basement, unable to kill the IQ outside of the front door. And while Nesk has been pushed pretty far back, he's done a good job of at least trying to get a kill or two here and there. Mindfreak, though, ultimately going to be the ones to win that engagement given the control.
You think with the Blackbeard of Aces, they'll probably put him on the trophy window. You have Magnet hunt those Valk cams and make sure that if there are any gadgets upstairs, you know exactly where the roamers are hiding. Puck and Hibana will probably just take from above, and you have Kings do some damage downstairs in West Main. That would be my assumption as to how they're going to do this. Zig is the first one to sustain any kind of damage. He's playing inside of Master Bathroom right now in the tub, and he's just got under 25 HP left.
Interesting thing here, Sexy Cake actually has not been droned out yet. The drone that was supposed to check Office from Mindfreak was shot in the hallway by Sexy Cake's teammate. So it's possible Mindfreak is not aware of the Jaeger roaming in Office, and Ace is going to win that fight despite the fact Sexy Cake goes down. Great job there from the Blackbeard, not even expecting that fight given his position, but still able to win it. And another for Mindfreak is Bullet, a little bit out of position there underneath the Master window.
Bullet had rotated off of the Mira to cover Zig as he went back down to Trophy. You can hear him getting stimmed up from Nesk's dock. So they had the escort from the Valkyrie just in case somebody pushed through the windows, knowing that Mindfreak has control upstairs. Zig sees one through the hatch, fires a couple shots in, but cannot connect. And now you've got Kings pushing himself in through dining. Checks over in the corner of the room by the vases, with a vase to make sure that there's nobody there. Uke gets the first kill for Liquid as a C4 eliminates Rizraz. The sledge is down. Those grenades will not be much of an issue now, but still, Magnet holding 2 with Ivana. Ace takes a significant amount of damage from Zig. Manages to take a little off. Lusty eliminating Uke. That's basically a trade. What a shot from Nesk. Oh my, a flick as Magnet goes down just by the main doorway. Lusty taking the defuse plant, and he'll stick it. Kings now to cover as Zig from above, leaving Nesk, who tries to push through double doors. He gets pushed off. Now Zig is going to try to bait to draw them out. They'll be alerted to his location. He'll move towards the top of West Main. He has a couple holes that have been opened up by both the Ash and the Sledge that he'll use to his advantage as the diffuser hits around halfway. Zig takes out Aces, finally, as Aces bled out. That was the Blackbeard he downed earlier on, leaving just 2 upright. Kings with very little health. Could be short work of an MP7. Zig inside of sight. Lusty will see him, but he loses the Mira's possession. The Bandit goes down to Kings, and Mindfreak takes 2 out of the first 2, and Liquid right now trailing.
What a beautiful post plan from Lusty and Kings. Not trying to go for the kill, not doing anything at all outside of the necessary. Very efficient, pragmatic. Gotta love that from Mindfreak. And Team Liquid right now struggling, but you gotta expect they're gonna start a comeback at some point here. Definitely some great shots from Nesk earlier in the round, and a good roam also from Nesk. He didn't get forced all the way back to the bomb site, and Mindfreak could not handle him. Now, despite that fact, Nesk's anchors struggled a little bit, and they did lose the round, but it was still a good job from him. Now we're going to be going into a basement hold from Mindfreak, as they were successful in the kitchen trophy. This is the technically the most common, I would say, secondary bomb site. Sometimes we also see bar gaming room on Chalet, but I don't think either of these teams are looking to take any risks right now, so it's going to come down to comfort.
Sexy Cake on the blitz, heading down into the garage. You got to figure he's probably going to head in through Wine and try to take advantage of that narrow alleyway to the bomb site. Or would you say there's going to be a push coming from Garage? What do you think gets the most out of running a blitz on this site for a team?
Well, I mean, you've got a lot of options. The thing is, if you're going to be coming from the snowmobile garage, generally you're going to want a thermite, because while you could put 2 Habanas on that snowmobile, that's not opening up very much. And you do need to save one of those Habanas for the drop-in bar. That's a very typical attack anyway when it comes to snowmobile bar. It looks like Liquid is setting up for that exact take, though, despite the fact that they do not have the thermite. So, confident in what they have in hand. If Kings is able to get one single Habana charge from the Habana, obviously, with his bandit charges, he will pretty much defunct this whole strategy. They won't be able to execute it anymore. They're going to have to reevaluate. It's not going to be the case, though. First Habana charge in the middle of the panels will mean that this Liquid attack is going to be at least strategically successful. Bullet takes out Rizraz. Good job from him there. That's a very important roamer upstairs in the library, as well as a C4 that will not be detonated.
That was not a very smart play from Rizraz. I mean, yeah, you're going to be offside as a pulse, okay, but playing up atop a chimney with his back turned to a number of windows, when you've lost about a minute on the clock, typically somebody has either droned out, library upstairs, and you would know they were there, or you just probably should be playing a little closer to the site at that point, at least in my opinion. Pulse is an operator who is going to be very, very important for the defense, and that is a significant pick that they have now taken out, not just because of the C4, but also the gadget too.
Using their vertical control, Team Liquid will be trying to lay down some fire on the defenders. Magnet narrowly dodging some bullets there, will actually eat a Gersmont in response. Uke is actually, rather, Bullet going to take down Magnet from the stairs. Zig gets onto Lusty, and now it's a 2-on-5. Aces and Kings, the last 2 defenders from Mindfreak. Aces will get the first kill for his team, but will it be enough? As from the flank, Kings eliminates 2. Can he get them? Yes, the down onto Buck, so now a 2-on-2. Sexy Cake and Nesk, the last attackers for Team Liquid. They have a whole minute to work with. They're not rushed at all, but the diffuser has been downed upstairs, and if the Bandit is aware of that in Kings, he might be able to play it. Looks like he's going to try and play passively, though, as his teammate comes back to West Lobby, and they're going to work together. One downstairs likely, one upstairs. We'll see what they choose to do here. Sexy Cake retrieves the diffuser. Nesk has picked up his teammate, so now a 3-on-2. And plenty of time still for the attack because they were so efficient in the beginning of the round. We have Kings downed now, and it's all up to Aces. Peeking onto the railing, Nesk will get the double kill, and Team Liquid take round number 3 in the first one for Chalet.
There was really nothing for Mindfreak to do there. They were both posted up by double doors. You had a shield coming at them. Instead of even trying to go back to site, they just stood and waited for the shield to get up. And then at that point, Nesk playing on the stairs by Fireplace with that ACOG. Tons of opportunity to be able to tear them apart. And that's exactly what happened. Mindfreak just put themselves in a bad situation and stacked up. Not much you can really do, and that's one of the things when engaging with a shield is you want to give it space, you want to be able to try to lure it out and maybe fight for a crossfire so that when it exposes itself or the shield, be it a blitz, a Monty, a fuse, etc., you're not exactly attacking it head on because, I mean, hey, you can shoot the hand of a blitz, but it's not as easy as being able to take it from another side.
Yeah, you're not doing very much damage there, unfortunately, at least compared to, obviously, a headshot. Now, with high rate of fire guns, like, for example, Mira's Vector, it's the sort of thing that you really only want to be aiming for the head. It's kind of the given with that weapon. Same thing with Bandit's MP7, and those being the last 2 operators left alive, going up against Sexy Cake's Blitz, right, it's going to be a struggle. Now, Liquid, given their lack of success on defense so far, they will be able to defend wherever they want. Going back to the Kitchen Trophy, they're hoping for a better result this time, as they were kind of swept under the rug the first time they went to this site.
I'm surprised at how even both of these teams have looked. I think for most people coming in that the expectations on APEC weren't quite so high.
Certainly not.
Also a combination of the fact that I think the expectations on Liquid were very, very high. And I mean, they've performed well. They haven't been able to do as well, I think, as they wanted. That's what you touched on as well, was Rogue beating Liquid 2-1 to be able to go in as the winner of Group B.
Rogue is looking like in this tournament what Liquid was expected to look like, and vice versa. So it's kind of a little bit of a switch of the magical chairs, and I may be just unlucky timing for Liquid, but there it is. Now, in this match, Mindfreak, on the other hand, like you said, not many expectations on their shoulders, and they're certainly playing like it. With Magnet on the IQ, it looks like he may have cleared out the cameras that were placed outside. Raz with the early kill, taking out Nesk. Again, we see Nesk eliminated early. This is the second round that this has happened to Nesk, one of the most formidable players on Team Liquid, and it will definitely hurt them moving forward, especially considering Mindfreak has plenty of time to work with.
Liquid's a team of superstars, though, so just losing Nesk himself, not as detrimental as it could be, because there are plenty there to be able to pick him up. And speaking of being picked up, it's Zig who will quite literally need to be picked back up, as right now Bullet is just there guarding his downed body. That would be 2 right now for Mindfreak.
What a nade from Magnet.
Oh my, a Bullet and Zig off the board as Zig was starting to get picked up. Not a great situation to find yourself in, but Yuke answers back with an explosive of his own. Raz sledging from above gets blown to smithereens. Still a numbers advantage, doubling up on Team Liquid. 4 for Mindfreak and 2 for Liquid.
That nade looked like it maybe went into the B-bomb side. It didn't actually get to see it, but either way, some good coordination from Mindfreak to set that up. Now, it's the sort of thing is you can only get a double nade like that when you really put the other team in a position where they cannot rotate any longer. So that's all those angles being denied using the control that you have in hand as an attacking squad. Now, despite the fact that it is a 4-on-2, Liquid still has a chance here. Oh, never mind. As Sexy Cake rotates into the master bathroom, Magnet will get the kill. Great drone work there. Didn't see whose drone that was, but it was fantastic teamwork regardless. And now Yuke, the lone anchor, in a 1-on, well, I guess he's gone. Kings with a headshot. Mindfreak looking extremely strong. A little bit of a hiccup on the previous round, but they are absolutely dominating Liquid here.
One of the best parts of APAC being able to experience the metas and the strats from other regions is that they will continue their development. If you look back on APAC's very first performance, when both Mantis and Ainz qualified for the LAN in Year 2 Season 3 that we just saw, it's a very different game now if you go and watch their most recent LAN, which Mindfreak was able to come out of. All of the teams have gotten much better. The access to information, resources, even scrims, the fact that they're being taken seriously, they put a lot of expectations on themselves. You know, they didn't just fly almost 30 hours to get here just to go out in the group stages. And right now, they're trying to make it so that Mindfreak's ascendancy is not a fluke. For Liquid, they've got, I think, a very big fight on their hands. Certainly one that might be a little bit more formidable, which is a word you used, than I think we thought going into this matchup.
Yeah, it's possible, and I don't want to put this on Liquid, but it looks like, at least starting out here, given that this is Liquid's map pick, that they did not take Mindfreak seriously going in. And if that's the case, then we could see a pretty decisive match for Mindfreak, and I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. You know, watching Mindfreak after their match yesterday, and you know, getting to talk to them, they definitely seemed like they prepped a lot for this match right here, at least in the time between their 2 matches. But still, Mindfreak definitely showing up to respond.
You got to think that they were emboldened and given a ton of confidence. Not just Rogue also giving them kind words, as we saw on social media after the match itself, saying that they were actually surprised with how powerful Mindfreak was and some of the strats that they brought. But also, after you lose Oregon, then you win the next 10 rounds against Rune Factory. That's got to make you feel good. You can come in riding a high and be able to, you know, go back on the VOD, see your mistakes. Speaking of the ban phase, which you mentioned, Chalet right now being in favor of Mindfreak. Still a situation where Liquid wins 1 or 2 rounds. They could easily get the momentum and take this map back. But we have Cafe Dostoevsky next, which is a map that we know that every ANZ team has practiced over and over and over again. We've seen how good Mindfreak has been. They were able to beat, if I recall correctly, every single team in the APAC qualifiers that they faced on Cafe Dostoevsky. That's a great drone spot, but it will get seen by Magnet, gets taken out. Bullet gets first kill, Magnet off. They had done some fantastic jobs finding and isolating that Ella upstairs inside of Office. They have taken complete control over top of Library. And that ability to lord over your opponent is so strong. But they'll need to now move inside of Office itself and Master Bedroom. You can see that's exactly what they've done. You can work away on the floors and the walls from above to try and put pressure on the rest of the team as the hatch over top of Kitchen has been blown as well.
We've seen overall from both teams, the roamers really struggling to actually have an effect here. And that's the thing, on Chalet, roamers are one of your most important tools. You know, you couldn't value them enough. As I say that though, one of the anchors, Lusty inside of Dining, will eliminate Nesk, and Blitz and Sexy Cake pushing onto him will get the hipfire headshot Lusty biting the dust. That's an unfortunate circumstance there. He's actually going to continue to push. He doesn't really need to do anything else. He can nice and comfortably push under cover of his shield. His teammates following up from behind, and that's going to result in Hibana going down. That's Zig. Sexy Cake turns on Rizraz and forces him back, but Yuke with a nade eliminates Aces. A 2-on-3. The last 30 seconds of this round, Rizraz will default back to the trophy room with Kings above. Vertical control in favor of the defense, but the last anchor gone. Rizraz is through. It's all up to Kings from above. 19 seconds. Planting going down from Team Liquid. Plenty of coverage here in the last 10 seconds. Kings will drop, gets a little bit of hip fire damage there from Sexy Cake, who has been doing fantastically with his shield in this round. He's just going to hold off that last defender by himself. The other two attackers don't need to pressure at all, and there's a hip fire kill from Sexy Cake. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, highlighting the strength of Blitz. There's nothing really that Mindfreak could have done about that, not at least directly. And as a result, Team Liquid will take their second round on Chalet.
Virtually an unwinnable situation there for Kings, as he had to stare down not just two members, but also one of which was a shield that can effectively block off a doorway. And even if you don't take the fight with the shield, which you never really want to do in a 1v1 situation, you would have had to push through one of the other doorways covered by the rest of the team. That was perfect by Liquid to be able to just cycle him out and make sure that he couldn't actually get inside the site. Good zone work. And I think one thing that Liquid has very smartly picked up on is when they attacked Kitchen Trophy last time, Mindfreak was able to win. What happened? They didn't bring a shield with them. They brought a shield when they attacked down in Wine Cellar. It was the very first attack round win for Liquid. They realized that Mindfreak just doesn't know how to deal with the Blitz right now, and you can make that very apparent as the team stacks up, tries to fight from, unwise angles. They don't have an answer for the Blitz. Don't be too surprised if I think Liquid will bring a Blitz pretty much every single round now to try and exploit what appears to be a pretty clear weakness for the Australian team.
10 seconds to go.
You say that, but there's also, most teams right now still struggle to deal with Blitz. He's the sort of operator that, at least from the front, there's not much you can really do about that. But we'll see if Mindfreak can answer it, and I completely agree with you. I think that Liquid's going to be bringing Blitz every round from here on out on attack. Now, starting things off, looks like Mindfreak's going to be going for a a bar attack, bar snow wheel attack, which is what we saw come from Liquid last time they attacked onto the basement. Sexy Cake going to be the one inside of a library on that castle, attempting to slow down this roam clear.
He's got a long barrel, which will help him just a tiny bit engaging at the distance that you see the Blackbeard away. They've managed to basically figure out the location of the roamers upstairs who are playing just off-site. The castle's trying to push out a library, but there are multiple angles being held right now from Kings, from Magnet, and from Aces. Sexy Cake, though, has taken a ton of damage. Blitz is an operator who is a monster in a 1v1. There are very few operators who can effectively take him on, because you get too close, number one, he's just going to pistol you to death. I mean, you can also completely flash him. He's in a situation where you need to basically try to double up on him and catch him in a crossfire.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you can double up on him, it has to be a crossfire. That's another stipulation. If you double up on him from the front, you're not really going to accomplish anything. And we saw Sexy Cake get 3 hipfire kills, I believe, in that last in that round when pushing into dining, because you can't really fight him from the front. What an angle from Zig there. An excellent headshot, eliminating Rizraz. Aces is going to get the refrag, but still, that is going to be Zig inside of dining with a fantastic roam so far. He's also got a teammate in Trophy, so as soon as Mindfreak starts to try and push this, as Nesk, he's going to have a little bit of backup.
Very smartly, they have an IQ that can actually spot Vigil when his ability is on. A lot of people, I think some people might not actually know just how effective that can be. And be able to find them.
This is dangerous.
Some drone work right now as 2 members of Liquid are going to push up the stairs. They will get spotted. Nesk able to eliminate the IQ of Magnet. Dangerous, absolutely. And that was a smart read from Liquid to be able to handle that situation. Now King's on top of Chimney. Knows that he's got both Nesk and Zig upstairs. But these are engagements that are killing your time on the clock. You see a flashbang get dropped from inside a lobby, and now Aces will fall trying to pressure that Mira. Sees the Mira, but not a chance. Zig is able to help do some cleanup work. Kings gets shredded by bullets, and right now it's all up to Lusty, who has just 1 health. A valiant effort, but Liquid manages to even things up at 3 apiece. They have found their mojo, and Mindfreak will need to find theirs if they want to be able to secure another win on Chalet.
2 in a row for Liquid, and like you said, a very formidable defense there. Mindfreak did a pretty good job of clearing the roam on the library side of things, but could not handle the kitchen trophy master office side of Chalet. Gotta do one or the other. If you're gonna go ahead and try and clear the whole building, then you have to focus your entire team on it. If you're going to just focus on the site, then have somebody watch the flank instead of putting an IQ to clear roamers by herself. Now, Team Liquid, they are going to be attacking here on, they have brought a blitz yet again. Quite obviously, that's going to be, like you said, I think what they're going to be having every single round here. Legion on the other side might slow him down a little bit though, so at least there's that.
What are your best ways of stalling a blitz? Well, you throw a bunch of traps in his way. You can bring an echo, potentially, if the blitz makes it onto site. It works not the same as knocking a Monty out of his shield, but can still disorient long enough to be able to capitalize on it. You have smokes, you have legions.
You've got C4's, just abundance of barbed wire. While it's not as useful as it used to be, it definitely is good against shields and at least giving you a potential to get a flank. 3 speeds who can go around the other side of the shield very quickly. It's very dangerous. You can't do it if the blitz is aware of it though, given the fact that he's got that flash. But you can if you maybe go above him. You know, there's a couple options. Just do your best to get around the blitz. That's about all you can really do. C4 from below, C4 from above, maybe. Anything that you have in your arsenal. I think Mindfreak's going to need to start pulling out all of those tricks, because otherwise Sexy Cake, what he's going to do here is waltz into the site again and get 3 hipfire kills.
And one thing that I know it might sound a little silly, but oftentimes the best way to counter a blitz is to kill his late round escorts. You might see blitz as an entry fragger on his own. Oftentimes these teams, especially Latin America teams, will employ blitzes. They'll just send him in on his own and just be able to try to pinch one roamer, hunt down a roamer on their own, or maybe even just hold a doorway by sight for the rest of the push. But in the latter portion of a round, a blitz becomes really powerful, because if you don't have a numbers advantage, then you wind up with that blitz always having an escort. If you can take them out ahead of time, like I said, it might sound a little funny, but often the most successful. Uke falls just upstairs as Lusty now eliminated from the blitz of Sexy Cake, meaning that it was a delayed refrag. Took about 15 seconds for them to be able to equalize, but now Mindfreak finds themselves down a Mira, who is an important operator, but I would argue that's a worthwhile trade for them in terms of operators, because you've lost a buck. Frag grenades down, also all that just pure destruction that he brings, no longer able to do that. That's going to make their ability to put pressure on the site from above much more difficult and rely on really Nesk's breaching rounds to shoulder all that weight.
Thing is, though, from right now, it doesn't look like Liquid's going to be trying to take above. They're focusing primarily on pushing into the dining table like they did last time. Just going to follow Sexy Cake in using that shield. 2 minutes have transpired here, and it looks like a little bit of an adjustment from Liquid because of the lack of push from Mindfreak. Good deciding. Wow. A shot from Nesk. Where was that on the long angle through the hallway? What a job there. He's still expecting Valkyrie and Magnet to peek onto the balcony, but it's not happened yet.
What they had done is they had sent 2 drones out. There, the blitz is gone. Had the Legion as well as a smoke. Nothing could really be done. You see the Hibana tossing in flashes, and Aces will push up very aggressively to try to take the fight. You can just look at all of those goo mines set around. Rizraz jumps out, gets punished by Liquid, but he takes most of his health out at the same time. When Aces, what are you doing? Oh! Aces, what a clutch! 3 kills for Aces inside of Trophy. That is what Mindfreak needs more of, and they will move to match point off of a great individual effort.
What an amazing clutch from Aces. That was supposed to be a Liquid round. They had everything going in their favor. A clear victory. Sexy Cake established absolute control over dining table, the pushes into the kitchen, and then they didn't even force out B window. They were like, okay, Aces is in B, let's just go around it, let's go somewhere else. But then a 3K out of nowhere.
I really like the way that Liquid set up that push, and I'm amazed that it didn't work out. They sent 2 drones into office to figure out the Valkyrie upstairs. I believe it was Lusty that was playing on that in office. They fed him 2 drones, he shot both of them. Okay, a 3rd drone comes out from Zig to try to figure out, let's see if there's somebody playing behind the mirror. We know that he can't see through that mirror because of his position. They send a Twitch drone, they get the mirror. The moment they get the mirror, Nesk peeks over, he kills the bandit from above. Fantastic job in that way to be able to get the kill up top. And then they have Sexy Cake vault into Trophy to put pressure there while they go and move to try to take over control of Master Bedroom, and basically pinch them, one from above and one from the main angle. But Aces just said, not today, and just killed all 3 of them. Very well coordinated by Liquid, but just, man, what a shot. What a couple shots to be able to clutch that round for Mindfreak.
That's the sort of clutch that you just don't see very often, and I think probably one of the better ones we've seen in the Invitational so far. Now, we're only in the group stage. We've still got a lot of Invitational to go, but still, great job from him. Now, moving on here, we are on match point because of that clutch, 3-4 in favor of Mindfreak. And they are looking to lock it out on attack. They've brought every tool that they need here, an IQ to clear out those Valkyrie cams, which have been finding themselves outside. They're going to be sledging their way into Snowmobile Garage. Go for that roam clear downstairs. The roamer is, I believe, a Valkyrie. Can't quite tell from the silhouette at this distance, but inside of the big garage hallway, there is a defender, as well as the back hallway, and that is going to be Zig on mute as he pushes his way back up the back staircase. He's going to meet up with his teammate upstairs in Nesk in Library.
Rizraz expecting him to rotate back down after hearing his MP5, get a couple shots in for a pre-fire onto Blue, knowing that he'd been droned. Rizraz will toss out a second drone now and basically drone himself in, priming a grenade just in case somebody sits at that hatch and manages to actually get the hatch. It looked like it might have been a little too early, but still pops it. That's the mirror of Yuke sitting above, took some damage, and will now need to move. As you can see, some coordinated effort. What great drone work from Mindfreak. Rizraz takes Yuke out, and remember, they are on match point.
This is just a focused roam clear from Mindfreak. And Liquid are suffering right now. They've wasted a good amount of time, but I don't think Mindfreak's going to give up here. Now, they're going to be pushing into the site right now, opening up that mirror window and establishing... Oh, no, they're not going to open up the mirror window as Zig eliminates those Excaros before getting lit up to 1 HP and eliminated, no, at least downed from the bottom stairs. Rizraz, he's not aware that he's downed the mute because there are no point notifications. Bullet will get a refrag onto Kings, and it might be actually a pickup here on the mute. Lusty eliminates both the roamer. Nest gets one for himself in return. Rizraz eliminates Zig finally, but Sexy Cake is still here. It's now a 1-on-2. Just Sexy Cake, and he's going to eliminate Lusty. Now the last attacker on 1 HP, it's IQ. Magnet outside. All he needs to do is waste away the time. But Sexy Cake with a mirror window, information from his teammates, as well as plenty of time on this diffuser, is going to be in a good position to clutch it. Only one single bullet is required to kill Magnet in this situation. Getting on cameras, unsure what that's for.
There's still a cam outside.
Still a camera outside, apparently. Magnet is going to be in a bad spot now, but the flick from Sexy Cake misses. He's on 1 HP now, similar to Magnet. It's one bullet from either. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Magnet. Sexy Cake loses the round. Mindfreak win map number 1 and push it on to Cafe.
Wow, APAC now 1 map away from being represented in the Invitational, just as I guess we all expected. Absolutely defiant performance, defying all of our expectations, and I would imagine everybody else's too. That was Team Liquid's map. Unbelievable.
And what an amazing clutch from Aces and Magnet to lock out that map. I just don't see in my head, when I'm looking at this match from an external view, I don't see Liquid losing to Mindfreak. And moreover, Mindfreak beating Liquid. Just a fantastic showing from them and completely unexpected, that's for sure.
They're now going to take them to a map that we know Mindfreak is really well practiced on, which means that we could actually be seeing APAC qualify for the Invitationals, and Liquid, more importantly, would not, which is something that I think most people figured was a given. Of course Liquid's going to be able to qualify. They're one of the best and most proven teams in Latin America. But we've seen some surprises so far in these group stages. We might see another one yet.
I'm just blown away. Honestly, I'm blown away. I did not see this happening. Another thing, we saw Sexy Cake doing amazing work with Blitz. Like, that was not a kind of a lackluster Blitz play. That was really well coordinated Blitz play that established a lot of control for his team. But everyone moving around Sexy Cake was unable to win their fights, and as a result, Blitz was often left alone. Like, where is everybody? On defense, the roamers from Liquid just got torn asunder. No one could stand up from the Mindfreak roam clear, and it was honestly fantastic to watch from Mindfreak. They did a really good job there.
And they also doubled up on the blitz very smartly. They had one playing inside a kitchen when Sexy Cake vaulted in. They had all of those Legion traps set out just in case he jumped in trophy, which is exactly what he did, and just jumped into his own peril. And yeah, Ace is also being able to steal that round away, and a very smart play by Magnet It had looked like there was still a Valkyrie cam outside. It could have been a different side of Chalet, but I know that there was still one that was remaining. And Mindfreak will need to look better at maps at being able to hunt down those Valk cams, because one of Latin America's biggest focuses is they love to throw out those Valkyrie cams, go for runouts, and also know your positioning. But a map that Mindfreak are no strangers to, and we'll have to see if Liquid can match their intensity. Momentum is all in favor of the Aussies right now. Cafe Dostoevsky, round number 2 after Mindfreak up 1-0.
I never thought I was going to hear somebody say that. Momentum in favor of the Aussies in a Rainbow Six match at the Invitational group stage. It's just not something you expect, and honestly, I like the change. So, defense first for Mindfreak, Team Liquid on attack. Very typical lineups for both. We're going to be going upstairs, go figure. As Aces moves downstairs, he's probably going to be throwing some cameras outside, and if nothing else, opening up those windows just to distract Liquid as much as possible to make them think that there is a roamer downstairs, but obviously Mindfreak not going to take that risk. Hopefully unnecessary, as they again won that previous map, so they got to be feeling pretty comfortable where they are right now. Holes opened up underneath the skylight drop down. Now what that means is any roamer downstairs is going to be able to shoot through those holes and kill an attacker as they drop down the skylight.
The Mindfreak being I think like a sentimental favorite as well. Much of the community has been rooting for not just them, but also APAC. The outpouring of support after Ainz won their match last night as well was very heartwarming to see. I like the addition of APAC. I've always thought that it was good for the game in terms of growth and interest in different regions. And I think everybody needs to be put on notice. You cannot be sleeping on this team right now. A Ying is going to be a central focus for most attacking teams. This is a Ying and Glass friendly map. You can also potentially run a Blackbeard, and we have seen Blitz play too, depending on the site that they are going to be attacking. A lot of versatility on the way that you attack Cafe, depending on where you hold it. One thing that APAC does that most other regions don't is they'll typically stack up on the eastern side over by Cocktail. You know, when we watch North America teams play, when we watch European teams play, when we see Latin American teams play, usually they'll keep a lot of bodies inside of Piano, and they'll make you fight for Piano and Cigar Control first. APAC teams, we've seen them play very heavy on the east side, over by Cocktail. Mindfreak right now, though, has bodies stacked up west, meaning that they're trying to adapt. Playing against other regions means playing with different strategies than you might be used to.
They've got a pretty perfect setup so far right now. Lots of time wasted, only half the round left for Team Liquid, but that's actually pretty typical for an attack onto the top floor of Cafe. There's not a lot of steps to clearing out here for Liquid, and as you can see, Mindfreak has actually fallen off of Piano, interestingly. They probably only played in Piano as long as they thought they needed to, rather. And now that they've done a good amount of delay, 2 whole minutes, they're like, okay, we're going to fall back to site. We're going to wait out the rest of the round. We don't need to do anything more. We do have a mirror window inside of Bathroom. That's going to be Kings playing on that, I believe. And he's going to be able to bandit trick it should the Xcaros come out. Actually, no, he has no more batteries. But repelling on the south windows is IQ. That's Sexy Cake. Looking to get the angle onto Kings, who does not have a rotation. Quite interesting. He's stuck here. If he gets isolated from his team, there's not going to be any chance for him.
They haven't really been able to get much ground inside of the building. Now finally peeling off the defenders from Cigar Shop. A flesh inside a Bathroom. Sexy Cake nades himself. Oh my, that's a bad start for Liquid, but Yuke able to take out Rizraz means that they don't lose too much. Lusty and Aces get out Liquid and Yuke. A good rally from them. It did look like it was a hot drop, and they perish immediately. Now Bullet and Nesk on the western side will push in through Cigar Shop. They'll need to regain that diffuser sitting just in front of the bar by Freezer. Nesk drops, Bullet goes down to Kings, and Aces, now Mindfreak only 4 rounds away from sending an APAC team into our quarterfinals for the what would that be, the first time ever? Or did we have Team Envy last year at Invitational? So they would technically be the first.
Yeah, but I mean, out of the group stage, well, there's technically the first Asian team in the group stage of the Invitational, if you want to look at it that way. But they would be one of the, I would say this is the most decisive we've ever seen an APAC team be ever. I think this is the strongest APAC performance that we've ever seen.
I would agree.
And I think that Liquid is struggling. On the other hand, well, you have Mindfreak, who are clearly in a good way. Liquid on the are just not performing up to expectations. It's very dangerous, you know. I mean, now, just devil's advocate here. It was a defense of the top 4 Cafe, and that is the round you are supposed to win on defense for this map. But all the same, it's not like clubhouse baseball. It's not to that extent. Now, the setup from Liquid, very similar to that of Mindfreak. They are going to actually open a rotation just in case their player inside of the bathroom needs to leave. That was a really weird decision that was made, trapping their bandit in bathroom last round by Mindfreak, but it surely won them the round. And I have to also question the, I mean, the big thing for me was Liquid had a setup to counter that mirror window. The guy playing on the mirror window in bathroom. The grenade from Sexy Cake on the windows, the south windows. But he killed himself. And that right there is the sort of mistake it's completely individual. It has nothing to do with team play or how a team overall is looking. It's just all Sexy Cake. And, you know, it wouldn't have meant if he hit that nade necessarily that Liquid would have been able to win the round, but it certainly would have established piano control in favor of Team Liquid and given them a much easier time of it.
We'll see Aces bringing out the Ying as well. Last time it really seemed like Yuke's Ying was to just drop right in up top of Skylight. I mean, most teams are ready and prepared to counter that.
We've got a rotation between Freezer and Piano, so clearly you're going to have Liquid applying a lot of emphasis on control of Piano. If they should lose it, it's going to be a lot of options for Mindfreak on the rest of their attack.
They've managed to open up the Mira as well. Either that or they've opened it themselves. We've seen one of the strategies of Liquid is that they open the Miras when they know that somebody is going to pressure. They do this especially on Consulate. They open up the Mira that they have on the Consulate garage and then huck a C4 through the open Mira hatch. We heard very briefly the rip of the Velcro as if the C4 was being primed and ready, but nothing goes out right now. Rizraz repelled up, and they're going to try to put more pressure on top of Cigar and Cocktail. One drops through the red hatch. First kill goes to the Ella of Nesk as Kings is off the board. A sledge down, and Bullet, a great read eliminating Rizraz, who was repelled, trying to take anybody out. And right now, Mindfreak has lost any ground that they had started to have on Cigar and Piano at all. And that's going to be very difficult for them to regain it, especially losing to operators. All they really need to do is line up, potentially establish one or two crossfires as they get onto the third floor, which is a very tough prospect, even when you have a numbers advantage.
One final minute in this round for Mindfreak. Two attackers still on the roof. Nesk still on the deep roam. Lusty going to be going to the front door of the building. I'm not sure he has time to commit to this roam clear. I'm not sure where he's going as he passes by the front door and moves over to the bakery. Lusty definitely looking for an option, anything to get him inside the building, that's for sure. Magnet and Aces, meanwhile, repelling on these east windows, going to go for Candela run-in. Here comes the repel as the defenders are likely blind, but the run out from Zig will get Aces before he can get in the building. Magnet goes down to the smoke, and it's all Lusty in a 1 versus 5, 20 seconds in the middle floor. It is not happening. As he challenges onto the poles, he will get Zig. Moving through the barbed wire, he's likely to die as he gets up these stairs. The rails absorb his bullets, and Bullet himself will get the kill. Defenders win round number 2, and Liquid looking strong.
And that is a perfect example of not playing with the team. Lusty was off on his own, trying to entry solo, pushed up brown stairs, miles away from the OBJ. Now, I think if he had maybe been 10 seconds ahead and he could have been on white stairs, he could have possibly put pressure on Freezer as the repels came in, but he was just nowhere to be found. The rest of his team essentially fighting at a glorified 4v2. Lusty was really not, or 5v2 rather. Lusty was at a disadvantage. Managed to get 1 kill, make it a 1v4, but I mean, that's as little of an impact frag as you can get. Mindfreak, having been successful upstairs, will now need to go down to the second floor. You're absolutely correct when you say that the third floor is the floor that you should really be winning on. If we can see Mindfreak win this round on defense, I think it'll bode well for their chances for the rest of the matchup. Liquid, though, bringing out the Blitz will be a menace on this site. You can hold angles through the actual windows itself if you have somebody outside on that balcony, or you can just have him come in and play the tight corridors surrounding the site. Makes it very difficult for people to be able to contend with the shield unless, as we said before, you double up and establish a crossfire.
I really love this setup from Mindfreak. I think that cam might have been a little bit of a miss, going a little bit too high, but overall setup from Mindfreak in this round is pretty fantastic. Spawn peek from Kings, very dangerous game he's playing. Has missed his opportunity, but honestly, I just want to see him get off the angle and play safe personally. it's when you're going for those spawn peaks, it shows confidence, and that's really good. But he almost danced with death there, as Bullet was just a little bit ahead and paying close attention to that window.
With the exception of Room Factory, we haven't seen very much spawn peeking whatsoever so far in the qualifiers. It's one of those things where it's so rare, a lot of teams don't even seem to check for it. They'll just sprint right up. If you can pull it out and, you know, successfully catch somebody off guard, that can go a long way, not just for the round, but also in terms of attitude and confidence, which you said. If you can get a pick early, especially if it's a crucial operator like a Hibana or a Ying or a Glaz, that can help the rest of the team as their strategy completely falls apart and they have to essentially call on the fly.
You know, sometimes when your teammate says, hey guys, I'm spawn peeking, or when you set up a preemptive spawn peek as a team, as a unit, it doesn't even feel that bad when they die. Like, when it's kind of expectation. When your guy goes, I'm gonna go spawn peek, and he gets killed, he doesn't do anything, you're like, okay, that's fine, because it's something you've calculated beforehand, it's something you've thought about, and you have your 4 players, sure, now in a 4v5, but you know what you need to cover, you know what you need to do, and everyone has their roles. So it doesn't really affect you too poorly as a defender in that situation.
Now, I would imagine that the way they're going to use Sexy Cake is they're going to drop him and make him push from above. Once he's cleared that out, I would imagine that he's probably going to push down red stairs and work his way towards the objective. He'll have to be very wary of the open hole, though, and manages to skirt by very delicately. C4 is a little too far off, and he will just continue to charge his way towards white stairs, as it looks like he's managed to flush out everybody playing from above. The Valkyrie smartly below had an opportunity to potentially shoot him through the floor, but Aces didn't have a sufficient angle. You've seen full stairwell control at the moment, but Magnet, as a smoke, is playing a very interesting game here.
Yeah, deep on a roam on the bottom of red stairs, likely going to catch 1 or 2 people off guard from Liquid. That smoke could have come from anywhere. Bullet didn't see its trajectory. He could have even thought it was a pre-placed. So, position still not given away for Magnet. Inside of Reading Room, Sexy Cake is forcing these roamers back while Nesk is sweeping them up. Aces goes down, and now with only 25 seconds, Mindfreak still has a bit of an advantage, at least in terms of time. Clearing the Excaros with an impact there, but being caught out by Nesk. Will Nesk get the double kill? No, Kings gets the refrag, and there's still potential here for Mindfreak to win the round. Pushing into the B bomb site, it is going to be Zig from behind, helping out his teammate of Sexy Cake to get that kill. Magnet gets 1 onto Yuke, and it's a 2-on-3. 3 seconds, Plant's going down, Smoke is the cover, Sexy Cake as well, but the shield is not enough! Kings with the double kill! That's 3 for him so far, and Magnet is in a position to support. Bullet from the other side, he has holes in the wall, he knows where the diffuser is planted, he could clutch out this round easily. The wrong way! And Bullet clutches in a 2-kill there. Sound not aiding the defense as the hits were coming away on the diffuser to disable it, and because of that they could not hear the last attacker from inside of Train. A nice try, though.
That's a round where you're kicking yourself to not properly be looking. I'm a bit shocked the way that they played that out, to be able to have your back exposed to that opening. I do know that the smoke had come from a very similar area, so the assumption could be potentially that there's nobody there, but you don't commit so hard to one angle. You try to play all of them, and you know that there's 3 potential angles inside of Train that can see inside of the actual dining room itself, and they had their backs, both of them, turned to that. Not a great play at all, and Bullet, it was very easy. That should be happening for Team Liquid. It should not be happening for Mindfreak, because they should have been covering.
And it's a situation where, like you said, most of the thing is, when you're in the post plant, you're going for the defuse, and there's still an attacker left up. If you're the one covering, do not just stick yourself in a corner, unless you know you only have to watch one angle. And in that circumstance, certainly there are multiple angles to watch. Make yourself dynamic, give yourself an opportunity. Know that the attacker, the last guy alive, he knows exactly where your teammate is because he's hitting the diffuser. So once he goes down, all you need to do is refrag. But you can't refrag if you line up and you sit still. So a nice try, though, from Mindfreak, like I said, and it's going to be Liquid going onto the defense of the middle floor here. So it should be a 2-2 here in a moment if Mindfreak is not overly discouraged.
Mute jammers will mean that their drone clear or their ability to clear an entry frag on third floor will be significantly impeded. You see there is no Twitch nor Thatcher for the attackers. That spells problems right away. And there will be trouble trying to take out those jammers unless they just push themselves, as no real gadgets other than maybe a frag grenade will aid them whatsoever. A bit unfortunate ending to that round for people who are fans of Mindfreak, because what was a great clutch from Kings overshadowed by a pretty big misstep on defense, or sorry, rather on defending that diffuser. That would have been a heroic finish for them if they had been able to stick with it. But like I said, Liquid just simply had played that absolutely correctly. Some drones sending themselves down red stairs, and some flashes as well. As Kings looks to drop, they'll blow up all that barbed wire. But the diffuser's still down, so at some point they will juggle up top.
Just wasting some time here from Liquid. Ace is almost getting some fire down there into the player of inside Cigar, but narrowly going to miss the shot. Now that DMR does about 70 damage into a leg. It's probably going to do at that distance through the glass more like 50, 40, but that's a lot. It's a lot of damage for free. So if he had hit that shot, it would have been a good situation for his team. Although it doesn't really matter in the long run. So repelling on the west windows, Ace is looking for the angles of the defenders inside of Piano. That's going to be Bullet. He's next to the actual literal Piano, just waiting for someone to repel on his window. Aces, though, with a headshot onto Zig, took a little bit of damage on the shield, and himself, actually, down to 75 HP just about. But it's not going to matter. I mean, he's the one who won the fight, and Bullet now left alone to roam.
Just sitting and waiting. There was an opportunity for Mindfreak to be able to double up on Zig as well. Bullet gets Rizraz as he tries to enter inside of Cigar. The Jaeger effectively getting a kill to deny them a successful entry. Aces will now be the one to push him as Bullet has repositioned himself by Cigar, trying to bait out the Jaeger. And that is a routine, a beautiful shot from Aces. Bullet gone. That means that it's mostly just sight presence as Nesk just plays slightly off site on top of White Stairs. Uke manages to eliminate Lusty in a very bizarre move as to why Lusty was there. A great shot goes down for Mindfreak, and the next altercation will be happening on White Stairs. You've got the Sledge of Kings who could slow peek Yella, and that's exactly what happens. Tries to check down a floor, doesn't realize that on the actual landing itself of the second floor, there lies a defender. Only 15 seconds left. We'll hit 10 seconds now. Mindfreak going to be playing from behind. Uke just needs to stand Sentinel, and he'll tear through Magnet, leaving Aces. Blackbeard's a strong operator, but not that strong. Liquid holds on. They play the clock. A sloppy execution from Mindfreak, and a great play to hold on from Liquid is the story of that round.
3 rounds in a row now for Liquid, and this is the Liquid we were expecting in this matchup. Now, Mindfreak is going to get to defend the top floor again, so that's where the only place so far they've been successful on Cafe, and it could give them a 3-2 situation. However, that's not enough. If you're losing the defense of the middle floor and Liquid's winning it, you will lose the map overall. So Mindfreak's going to have to do something next time they go on defense, or it's not going to happen for the rest of the match. I mean, they might not even get that far. Well, they will get that far, probably, given they're defending Bar Cocktail, but it's possible to be locked out before that.
That's 2 attacking rounds in a row now where Lusty has largely been off on his own, both times over by pillars at the top of Brown Stairs. I'm not sure what strategy they have in mind for him, but it's not effective at all. That's something that they'll need to fine-tune, because if you have somebody who's essentially off on their own, be it on a deep roam on defense or solo entry nowhere near or connected to the team, you're not really getting much. Number one, you're putting yourself at a significant disadvantage, because really the only way they can be effective, unless they're unless they manage to get back to site or they flank the site, effectively basically making every altercation a 4v5.
Lots of holes opened up in the floor here from Mindfreak. That's going to be telling of a heavy roam game downstairs. You can see quite a lot there as the attackers will push in through Cigar, which is pretty typical. Liquid has other options, though. They have brought a Capitao. Now, a Capitao-Ying combo, for me, screams East Windows. Absolutely screams them. And it's possible that you could actually just use it on the skylight. And you put that Capitao smoke bolt. Capitao has a unique ability with his smoke bolts that you can use them on surfaces that you can't put smokes on, because they detonate instantly upon impact. So, for example, with Zig on his smoke bolt, he could put it on the skylight drop itself to cover the actual falling. So no one from Mindfreak will be able to see when an attacker drops from skylight. That might be telling of a little bit of rush strat there, as Zig, I believe, just shot his own drone, or somebody's drone. A little bit of a mistake there, but that's okay. They've got 10 of them.
Just for ease of access of throwing in projectiles and potentially taking fights at that skylight. That's why he shot all of the glass. The amount of times I personally have lost a kill because I've gotten to shoot somebody under that skylight and all of the broken glass has obscured the next 2 or 3 shots, far too numerous. So it's just good ahead of time to be able to take care of that. Nesk using those very limited shots on the Twitch drone to take out one of the cameras and assessing if anybody's down and mining, but there's nobody there. At least for the moment. They've taken Sexy Cake off of the blitz. They'll put him on the IQ, basically just as a stronger support operator, maybe not supporting the push, but instead to be able to support by, you can see, helping know where the devices are for the defenders. A smoke goes out, that'll deny them a drop down into red, and they will have to wait. Rizraz had gone for a run out through delivery, but nobody to find him.
Now with only 1 minute left, there hasn't been an engagement yet in this match. Sexy Cake is just gathering information right now, and here we go. The east windows looks like they're going to be the focus for Liquid. Really like IQ pick on this. When she's on the roof, she's got all that condensed information, and bringing the UG is kind of interesting, but most people prefer the 5.52, but you know, it's personal preference overall. Now on the east windows, the question is, will we see a run out or a successful one from Mindfreak? Looks like we might. Rizraz getting the kill into Uke, but I think that actually might just be from in the site. Grenade's about to come out from Sexy Cake. It's gonna get caught by an ADS. The Thatcher not being efficiently used there.
That was really, really smart. They managed to time it, and he pulled the ADS off. Thatcher went down, put the ADS right back on. We've seen some ADS juggling happen, especially in the servers on Bank. Seems to be the primary focus for it, but basically just saved his own life as Aces now robs them. What a great flick from Magnet. Nesk down, and Mindfreak starting to battle back as Magnet gets another, this time onto Bullet, leaving just Sexy Cake and Zig to do most of the legwork for this team. 2 smokes will mean that there will be at least some of the site obscured, but the last member right now is Sexy Cake on White Stairs. He'll do battle with Magnet. Magnet just smartly kills time. Sexy Cake will stay alive, save the op, or save the AUG in this case. Mindfreak wins the round.
You know, it's weird when you say, oh, you know, they won that round because they just won their engagements. Usually you're talking about the Latin American teams, Brazilian teams specifically, teams like Liquid, FaZe, and Black Dragons, BRK. I'm talking about Mindfreak. They just won their fights. Did you see that roam clear from Liquid? It was pretty decisive. Now, a little bit lackluster in terms of the droning for each other, but they put a lot of emphasis on it. And downstairs, Mindfreak was just like, nah, we're going to win these fights. Don't really care about you or your feelings, and we're going to win this match. So it's looking like a little bit of a comeback here from Mindfreak in the later half of this map.
It did appear that there might have been a last-second change of operators, but they ended up just locking in the black. And Hibana speaks to me that they might be trying out a different strat that they'd used before. One thing for me when I'm looking at the rounds so far that we've played, of the 5 previous, was that every team has won, every team has won their bar cocktail defense, as they should be. Liquid won mining, so that's why now they have to go back here other than bakery. No sites unlocked. If they lose this, then a bit odd that they would find themselves in a situation where you're winning mining, you're losing bar cocktail.
10 seconds to go.
Mindfreak struggled to be able to get in. One of the biggest focuses for them will need to be on asserting dominance over Piano and Cigar. They struggled really hard and let Bullet just sit in there for 2.5 minutes, largely uncontested. They pushed him one at a time, and there wasn't really much they could do.
Do you know what that was, though? That was I believe it was the mute from Liquid denying the droning into Piano, and there is no mute now. So the lack of a mute from Liquid might mean that Mindfreak is actually going to drone out all of Piano, see any potential roamers, namely Bullet, inside of Piano, and actually address them appropriately instead of, you know, losing 2 people to him. C4 from Zig is going to not hit its mark as Lusty walks away with full HP.
Not sure if they knew there was a pulse there, but we've seen that play a couple times from this level. He usually will catch somebody off guard, especially if the way they time their repel, because once their animation starts to be able to get over that ledge, usually a C4 will be able to take care of you if thrown correctly. They've already put more pressure on Cigar in the first minute than we saw for the first 2 previously when attacking upstairs. ADS burned at the bottom of the red hatch. So now Lusty will go on to drone to do some work for both Magnet and Aces, who are repelled on the windows, looking inside of Piano.
Moving down the red stairs to just try and clear out any roamers. Lusty's going to be the one droning for him. We'll see Nesk inside of Wheel Room. which is going to mean that Kings is going to go for that fight. This is very dangerous. From the side, though, Kings gets some support, forcing Nesk back. Nesk really should have died there, but he's going to be able to pick up Rizraz thanks to an amazing fallback and great shot from himself.
They sent 3 members of Mindfreak just for 1 Ela. They're still trying to fight. He took 1 down with them. That is as successful as you can get in that situation, especially with how well pinched he was. But eventually Nesk ends up losing the battle. You lost Rizraz, Grenades down, and Buck too, who can put pressure from below. You've now got Kings the Ash down below. Zig just in bad shape, finds himself victim to the Blackbeard of Aces. And Lusty moves up top of Red Stairs. They have managed to get as much possession of Cigar as they could. The last step is inside of Bathroom where Sexy Cake is. The smoke playing off of the Mira, a very powerful position for the smoke to be. Gives you a lot of sight control without having to expose yourself and the ability to move around that Mira. You can toss down one of his toxic gas grenades, be able to repel the attack and the push. And there's not much time left either. We're just about to hit the 30-second mark for the team. You gotta think Team Liquid will probably be able to hold on, given the fact that this very nature of the site usually helps the defenders, but they do have a disadvantage in terms of man count right now.
2 stacked up on Cocktail, 1 in Cocktail Hall. Yuke still has his mirror window in hand, which is going to give him a lot of control towards Piano and Freezer specifically. The 3rd and last defender is nowhere to be seen on the top floor, which means these last 2 are getting pinched right now. Will the run out be successful, or will it not work at all? Lusty is planting the diffuser right now at the bar over cover of smoke and teammates, and it will go down. With 1 on the skylight, a double kill from Yuke as he pushes to the diffuser, but there's still an attacker. No, Yuke with the triple kill! Bullet with 1 for himself, and it's all Kings! Can he clutch it out in a 1-on-3? Eliminates Yuke on the diffuser, but not enough! Sexy Cake locks it down, and Bullet will get that diffuser disabled. Liquid won an amazing clutch, all thanks to the Mira play of Yuke.
Aces found himself prone just under the bar as the diffuse plant finished. The Mira pushed through the smoke. That's an opportunity where the Blackbeard hanging on those windows, very valuable, but if that had been a glass situated on those windows, well, that's a big difference maker. You'd be able to see through that smoke, you would see the Mira coming, and that would have been an easy stop for them as long as they hit their shot, which these players should be able to do. Liquid now finds themselves on match point, so we have a story of Team Liquid's map of Chalet going for Mindfreak, and now Mindfreak's map of Cafe going for Team Liquid. Very, very interesting so far.
You know, I think one thing to reference there is, while we've talked about it before, Mindfreak's a bit of an inexperienced squad overall. You could tell that that Ying on the skylight, he got faked out really, really easily from Yuke. 2 hits on the diffuser, and that's all it took to prompt that Ying to peek. If he had just simply waited a little bit longer, probably would have been a pretty easy clutch out. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Now, Mindfreak, they're going to be going down to the defense of the train and dining.
10 seconds insertion.
Otherwise, also the wheel room. This is a bomb site that hasn't worked out for Mindfreak so far. They've been struggling really hard to hold this one down. They almost got a clutch last time they went here. This is only their 2nd, of course, time on this bomb site. But it just wasn't enough to push it past Liquid, who will be bringing the blitz of Sexy Cake yet again. Again, a very formidable opponent on this blitz, and he did some great work for his team last time they were on this site. Taking control over the white garage early on. Liquid are going to be rappelling up here. Looks like it's going to be a focus on the B bomb site, and you can see Mindfreak are not having any of that plant they had to deal with last time. They're going to be opening up some holes in the bottom of the B bomb site wall in an attempt to deny that default plant. Upstairs, Mindfreak still has a good roam. They're going to have to deal with some attackers coming from Red Stairs, of course, as is pretty typical on Cafe. Lots of drone work going to be coming out from Liquid as they attempt to discern what exactly it is they're going to need to address as they push down into the building. I believe that is Rizraz inside of Pixel spot, just waiting for the push to happen from Liquid. He's going to be no, excuse me, not Rizraz, Kings rather. He's going to be faced with a blitz. As it seems Kings has fallen back to the white stairs. It's just going to be a complete default here from Mindfreak, not wanting to deal with that blitz shield head on. Plenty of time wasted though from Mindfreak. They've done a good job at putting it down to the last half of the round. and they have a good roam downstairs.
Rizraz is going to be the one poised to strike as well, playing on brown stairs. They can dispatch Sexy Cake to be able to find him and hunt him. That'll be a big weight off their shoulders.
Oh, absolutely. Decent pacing from Liquid so far, but they have wasted a good amount of time. As the push starts to come out, they are going to open up above Train. Will the kills, though, be to follow? No, looks like Yuke's going to lose that one.
This is the time that the pressure should be happening. Hitting the hatch as well means that Mindfreak will probably have to get one roamer close to sight. Mira gets dropped, and Rizraz now just playing on white stairs. A little bit of an early smoke, but they could potentially be able to zone them out long enough that they have to regroup. Yuke is going to be the biggest pivotal player for this push. If he can establish control from above, can help dislodge them off the site. Sexy Cake inside of reading, sees one, sustains some damage as Zig manages to eliminate Magnet. He still just has control of white stairs. It's where we saw Rizraz had been playing, but now both he and Kings so far off site. Lusty downstairs as well. They've fallen off almost completely. And Ace is on site. Yuke, what are you doing? How do you not see the lesion there? They're now going to storm back. Just under 10 seconds left. The Blitz a distraction in the hallway to try and stop them. Rizraz finishes off the Blitz. And Mindfreak hanging on, but Diffuser being stuck by Zig. Bullet will need to cover, or else this Diffuse is over. Plant goes down. Rizraz tries to see one, lights him up on red stairs. He downs him. That means it's just going to be Zig, who's upright just outside of the large wheel. Zig gets finished off by Kings, and it's Bullet who's downed. That is easy to finish off for Kings. Mindfreak will stay alive. We will hold on match point. And I don't know exactly how Mindfreak managed to pull off that defense. Really just came down to the legion of aces sitting inside a site to stop the plant as soon as it happened. Bought his team a lot of time to be able to rotate down through Bakery, come up, and get back towards the site and stop the Diffuse after it happened.
Yuka's got to be kicking himself for not seeing aces in that corner. What was
How
that?
did you not check that corner?
Yeah, and he's a buck too. Soft destructible wall, just buck it open, see what's in the entire site. It's a very small room. You have a lot of potential for information gathering there. Unfortunately, because of that fact, they will lose the round. And at least unfortunately for Liquid, fortunately for Mindfreak, that's for sure, who are got to be feeling great about that win. Now, Liquid has to defend Fireplace Mining Room, which is, again, the least defendable, well, the less defendable site. The least defendable is the one you will almost never see on Cafe at this level of play. Does happen, though only rarely. All that aside, though, Liquid has to defend this site, which they have been successful on in the past, but it's still a desperate prospect for Mindfreak as well.
One thing to note is that this is the second time that that particular site of mining has been defended. So early on we'd said that Bar Cocktail is usually where you're going to win, and every team so far on Bar Cocktail has actually won. It does appear that every Bar Cocktail defense has been successful. But because Team Liquid, or because rather, we had to go downstairs to mining, a bit surprising that Mindfreak was able to pull that out. Now Liquid will have to defend the same side. If they can have the same fortune that they had just a couple rounds ago, being able to hold off the push of Mindfreak, then we head to map number 3. If not, well, then we go to overtime on a map that I think Mindfreak is maybe starting to find their groove on, but it could be too little too late.
Can we just talk real quick again about how this is Mindfreak now, potentially bringing it to overtime, which would potentially put it on to series point? Like, the expectations for Mindfreak were just, okay, you know, you're going to get 2-0'd and you had a good run, good job, but no. This is an internationally competitive team right here, something we haven't, I think it's safe to say we've never seen from APAC an internationally competitive team. Going up against the likes of Liquid and holding your own, not only holding your own, but also putting them into desperation. Very impressively done from Mindfreak. You got to give them props, but also for Liquid for holding on this long and putting it on to match point. While you wouldn't have expected this situation, Liquid's done a good job of responding.
I think more than anything, if we're just looking at a game of expectations, the scary Team Liquid that teams had talked about that could just tear up Latin America doesn't appear to have shown up today right now.
That's fair.
As you said, whether it's Mindfreak just playing right now incredibly well, which I think there are some parts of that argument that hold weight. And, you know, I think some of their losses on rounds have largely been due to a serious lack of coordination on their part that Team Liquid has been able to exploit, which are rounds that Team Liquid should have won. Liquid should not be losing those. Mindfreak, though, would need to play them a little better. You can see first kill goes to Bullet. Kings is down. You've lost your Ash and entry. And now another as Nest gets Magnet. He's going to vault out. Lusty is now one of only 2 left. Make that one a very quick burst for Liquid, and they will secure Cafe in commanding fashion. That round was over before it even started. We will equalize the series, or they will equalize the series, not us, at 1 apiece with a score of 5-3. The same scoreline that we saw at Chalet, just reversed. Oregon is going to be map number 3.
What a job there from Liquid. You can see their coach there, Sensei, very proud of them. And yeah, we have a match here. It's fantastic. I did not expect to see a third map either way for this series. So great job to Mindfreak. Great job to Liquid to get it this far, and an excellent round there towards the end from Nesk with that run out.
One thing that could have happened too is that because we know how much Mindfreak likes to play Cafe, there's no shortage of VODs available for Liquid to be able to look them over. Sensei, their coach, a very smart head and good sight in this game, will obviously pick them apart and try to find and exploit weaknesses in both the attacking and defensive structures of Mindfreak. We saw that a couple times, and there's some things that the Aussies can look back on and make adjustments on in order to, I guess, see how their play stacks up to other regions. Because while they've been successful on it in APAC, right now we're looking at an unsuccessful map against Liquid. So when we look at Oregon between the 3 teams, we know that Liquid loves to bring a blitz. What map happens to have blitz thrive on? Oregon.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking that maybe, just maybe, Mindfreak was going to win this series and go on to the, you know, continue to compete in the Invitational. But on Oregon, I just don't see it happening. It definitely is a map that's going to favor Liquid, especially with the great blitz plays from Sexy Cake, but we'll have to find out. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back shortly with that third map in this series. So every team at a professional level is committing the time these days.
Our motivation to keep playing and to keep putting in the time is really just we want to be the best. We're all highly competitive people, and we're not satisfied if we aren't the best.
During boot camp, pretty much every day we had scrim scheduled. We'd wake up about 1 o'clock, we'd have scrim scheduled with one team, take a break, have another team towards 5 or 6 o'clock.
I record all of our scrims immediately after, watch them all back to see if myself or our team have anything we can improve on.
Plus tu vas jouer, plus tu vas voir des choses, que ça soit en classé, en match, en scrim.
Les vidéos, les VOD, c'est quelque chose d'important qui nous permet d'élargir notre vision de jeu et notre compréhension de la map.
The best teams really look at why specifically they lost the round or the gunfight or whatever. They try to fix it so that it doesn't happen again. I've kind of translated that to everything in my life. I wasn't always as skilled as other players, but better be damn sure I'm gonna go to the rink twice as many hours as you are. And I've applied that to the game, and it really does pay off.
Le jour d'un match de Pro League, on peut pas avoir un problème de concentration.
As a coach, I can see when players are kind of bummed out, if scrims aren't going their way.
We always make sure to communicate so that everyone can be in the best possible engagement and so that everyone's supporting each other.
Le fait aussi d'être à côté de ses partenaires et rien que de se taper dans le poing entre chaque round, c'est vraiment une transmission d'énergie. Et puis aussi de rassurer son partenaire, lui taper dans le dos, on est ensemble dans ce combat et tu vas te relever et c'est toi qui vas nous faire gagner le prochain round.
Você ter 4 pessoas no seu time que querem o mesmo objetivo que você. Não tô jogando ali só por diversão. Querem ganhar, querem chegar ao topo. Então, essa é uma diferença, porque o foco de vocês vai ser o mesmo. Com isso, eles te ajudam a crescer no jogo.
In a match, when we're down, we usually keep things pretty positive.
Maybe you have an off day, maybe you don't play your best, but you still know that the formula you're using to win is there.
To me, winning is the biggest relief. It's like everything you've done, every minute you put into the game, you finally achieve.
The excitement after winning a match, especially an important one, it's huge. Kind of amps everyone up and gets them ready to continue on.
I'm definitely looking forward to the 6th Invitational. It's the championship of Siege. Whoever wins the Invitational is the champion of that year, the world champion.
On est ambitieux. Notre but, c'est de régner sur Rainbow Six. On veut aller au plus haut.
None of us are quitters. None of us are gonna drop down and then not be the best and be like, oh, well, I guess we can't make it back to the top. We all know we're capable of making it back to the top, and we're not gonna stop until we're there.
And you know Troy, he's really competitive. He wants to win, but he wanted to do it with people he enjoyed the company of. And I think that's something that really helps them stand apart from everybody else.
On vit des moments mais extraordinaires. Quand on est sur scène et qu'on a le public face à nous, qui nous acclame, qui nous supporte, vraiment, on se transcende.
Tudo que eu faço, todo jogo, eu sempre peço a Deus para me ajudar a conseguir dar a vitória aos meus companheiros, ajudar eles a conseguir o que eles querem, entendeu? Então, eu vou levar isso para minha vida inteira como inspiração e mesmo num momento difícil eu não vou desistir, entendeu? Eu sempre vou procurar o máximo, sempre vou dar o melhor de mim e mesmo se não der certo, vai ter outra chance, se tiver eu vou agarrar e vou dar o melhor de mim também.
Overall, if you want to get into the Pro League of Rainbow Six Siege, it's extremely achievable. And while it might seem a little bit daunting at first, anybody can do it if you really put your mind to it. What you need is to be in a team where everybody's focused on the same objective. That learning curve will accelerate, again, if you like the people you're playing with, if they're just as committed as you.
The biggest impact Siege had on my life is the way I look at life. It made me realize that you can really look at everything as a challenge.
And welcome back from not just a nice video about the teams themselves, and I'm really glad that we've been able to do this series, but also to an exciting matchup. My name is still Parker Intero Mackay, and I'm still joined by Michael Kickstar Stockley. I have not changed it in the break, even though I might not sound like Intero at the moment because my voice is taking a bill. Thank you.
You sound great.
Well, hopefully I don't lose too much of it as we go into an ever-entertaining third map of a best-of-3, Team Liquid versus Mindfreak. Now, you've got the strong Latin America team and a huge organization backing Liquid, and then Mindfreak being probably right now putting on the best performance that we've seen from an APAC team in a PC Pro League regional event. Now, because of this, we saw map number 1 on Chalet, which was Liquid's pick, go in favor of Mindfreak. Mindfreak's pick was Cafe Dostoevsky, and it went to Team Liquid. The scores, 5-3 and 5-3 for both, so a mirror matchup, and now we have Oregon, probably one of the most neutral and well-known maps for both of these teams to have their next skirmish on.
You know, I really do feel like in this matchup, it's going to slant towards Liquid, but there is still hope for Mindfreak. They're going to have to play a little bit differently. They're going to have to play, I think, more aggressively, take things more authoritatively, just go for those takes, hold that control, and commit to everything. And lose a little bit of the mistakes they've been making. Because like you said, you referenced this in the previous match, Mindfreak was seemingly a little lackluster with some of their teamwork. Now, when they had something that they all wanted to do together, a common goal that they understood, take out Nesk in wheel room, drone him down, and push him together as a unit. When they had that objective in mind, Mindfreak unquestionably dominant. I mean, it was disgusting. It was honestly well done to Mindfreak. But then once it got into the situation where where it comes down to individual play, when you're isolated from your team and you're not really sure what to communicate and what not to, we saw a lot of situations where there just was a lack of information gathering. I mean, Yuke being able to get that 3K and disable the diffuser, well, his teammates disabled the diffuser, but 3K to clutch out the match, that was not supposed to happen, and if it had been communicated properly, it probably wouldn't have.
A lot of the rounds that we've seen won both on map number 1, Chalet, and map number 2, Cafe, were because of individual efforts from Mindfreak. Liquid looking very well coordinated, Mindfreak having some small hiccups with being able to push in synchronization with one another. We will see if that has changed at all. It's actually Consulate as map number 3, apparently not Oregon.
Look at
Our
that.
Apologies, we were informed incorrectly. So Consulate is going to be map number 3. This is a map that is played extensively in Latin America and one that we know how Liquid operates on. They run a strategy that we don't see from many other teams. They usually will toss down a Mira on the second panel where Kings is currently reinforcing and then pop it, and there is a preset I guess, a preset place for Zig to lob a C4 over top and be able to take out any X-Kairos or the exothermic charge of Thermite that are trying to get at the wall itself.
So since we're talking about Consulate and not Oregon, I do think that this is definitely going to be a little bit of a more balanced match than it would have been on Oregon. But the thing is, like you said, Liquid has a lot of great pocket strategies here. And I think as long as Mindfreak's conscious of them, they'll be able to counter them. But how well is the question? Because a pocket strategy is something you don't see every day or in the Pro League usually. Is something specifically designed to give you an edge on this stage at the Invitational. So while you might expect it and be conscious of it and be in a position to maybe counter it, it's definitely going to be something new that you haven't done routinely. And that's the thing. That inexperience, that's lack of coordination we were talking about with Mindfreak earlier, after they get outside of their normal strats, that is due to inexperience. So while they're already kind of inexperienced on the base level, if you add extra layers to that, it's going to hurt them quite a lot more. We'll see if Liquid's able to institute that, or if it's going to be a Mindfreak victory here.
I'll put some pressure up and be able to start to drone away. You just missing that drone toss ever so slightly, and will, a minor course correction, get inside of the antechamber or hallway from main lobby just in front of bathroom. Those mute jammers will be pesky. There are lots of mute jammers that you can situate on the bottom floor that will make droning and, as we said, information gathering quite difficult. We've seen them, I believe we saw them yesterday in the Mindfreak Room Factory matchup, and Zoronic was actually the one to point to how effective that could be. Sexy Cake peeks, and wow, right now Mindfreak has completely conceded control of all of yellow. A very unwise idea. It allows Sexy Cake to literally just wander right in, pick off Rizraz, who was playing an exposed wall by the bathroom inside of Piano itself, and they have now lost a ton of real estate, given up for no reason and at no cost whatsoever to Liquid.
You call it free real estate.
It's for real estate.
On the back of White, King's gonna be trying to hold off this garage. What a shot from Kings out of nowhere! Eliminates Bullet on the right side of that garage, but it has been turned back on by Zig, eliminating his teammate of Aces. That's the mute gone. C4 from Lusty not gonna hit the mark, and that's an unfortunate miss of a kill there for Mindfreak. Only 50 seconds left, but Liquid has Mindfreak surrounded. It's gonna be a difficult clutch.
You can see the Bandit of Kings playing behind yellow or by white. Van will move himself. And you said circle, and I think that's absolutely correct. Shark circling the water. Kings gets eliminated from Nesk, just looking outside of the cafeteria doorway. That was Kings playing, like I said, behind the white van. Candela's rattle off as the thermite comes in for the plant. Magnet in a position to be able to capitalize. He sees the thermite, knows he's taking the plant, doesn't stop the defuse, instead opts to try to take out the escort. Sexy Cake is there to capitalize. Maybe take out the thermite first next time. A Mindfreak on a bit of a puzzling end to that round, prioritized incorrectly, and a great individual play from the Ying of Sexy Cake to be able to salvage that round after it could have gone very bad for their team. Team Liquid will take round number 1.
Now, Liquid is definitely woken up. They had a bit of a step and a stumble on Chalet, but now that we're here on Consulate, they are ready to go. They saw the perfect hole on those yellow stairs to push into, and that basically by itself, thanks to Sexy Cake, disabled the roam. Once there was no Ella inside of bathroom, the pressure wasn't really there from Mindfreak, and they found themselves at the disadvantage moving forward in the round, which allowed Liquid to fully encompass that defense and collapse as a unit. Now, it is going to be a basement defense from Liquid, which is the same as what Mindfreak went for. This is kind of interesting. Most other teams outside of these two have favored the top floor on Consulate as of late.
Liquid with that, like I said, that mirror strat. There you go. Zig will put it down. He'll play in a position where he's able to toss, pop that, and then also toss the C4 out. The C4 will go through the mirror hole and be able to take out, like I said, either the X-Karos or the exothermic charge put on either of those panels, be they 1 or 3. Now, there are a lot of VODs available for Consulate if they've studied them at all. I believe they played them in both matches against Rogue, as well as in their very first matchup, which was against Room Factory, if I recall correctly. So, an ability for them to be able to see the strat in action. Another thing that we see from most Latin American teams is how they sit upstairs in console office and use those windows to their advantage. Usually there will be a Valkyrie right now, as you can see Nesk's cameras, that will be providing some information, and Sexy Cake trying to destroy the debris, maybe able to get an early pick. But that instead will go to Nesk, who takes out Magnet. That's the thermite, and the entire push push has now completely fallen apart. You have lost essentially the biggest focus of your strategy. In the first 30 seconds, Lusty will largely be removed from potentially getting hatches, maybe to use Hibana's ability to take out some of the garage now rather than being dispatched upstairs. You've lost a lot of flexibility with your strat.
You know what this looks like to me, just from an outside perspective? It looks like Liquid has fallen off of the idea of playing strats, like hard strategies, which they seem to be doing in the first map. And they've opted to just go for old school Liquid, which is go and win your gunfights, which is a much more prevalent strategy in Brazil. And it's working now against Mindfreak, that's for sure. But once Mindfreak has any whiff of predictability in strategy, they're able to win the fights. It's not going to happen this time, though, as Bullet eliminates Kings and gets a second onto Rizraz. Can he get a third? No, Yuke's going to be there to pick up that third kill. And Lusty, the last Mindfreak player inside of Visa. He's got a minute 30 to work with, but he has to take out 420-ish HP. I don't think it's likely to happen. And as the C4 goes up, he's going to respond. Downing Nesk with a nice shot there, but Bullet getting his third finally.
Many, many rounds we have seen Lusty just not with the rest of the team. And not that I think a third would have been able to do much there. You had the Vigil playing, of Bullet playing inside of the servers, trying to peek around the angles. A Glass at that range is going to be very difficult to land their shots. You saw he was the first one to get downed of Mindfreak. But Lusty too many times is just far and away from the rest of his team. Now, like I said, I do not have any access to their information that they use regarding their strats. I don't know exactly what his specific focus is or what they intend him to do. Maybe calls change and he finds himself all alone on an island. But it has continuously burned them in a number of rounds. Not that, like I said, it would have changed the outcome, but being able to play with your team and not being in a position to leave the rest to essentially fend for themselves is something that has hurt Mindfreak a number of times on Chalet, even though they won, on Cafe, which they did not, and now Consulate, which they are trailing.
Now, as Mindfreak goes to the defense of the top floor, they have yet to win a defense, so they had every single option they could want. And they're going to decide to rotate. That's, I think, pretty smart. When you're in a position and you're just losing one site dominatingly, which they certainly did downstairs, just choose something else. You know, mix things up. Go for something a little bit different and hope that it's what you need. Interesting setup here. You got a shield inside of the A site. Now, A is notoriously hard to anchor in. You don't have any hard cover apart from the actual bomb itself. So that shield giving you actually vertically not nearly as much cover as the bomb, but horizontally much, much more. So that's a good position for the smoke of Magnet to be in. And he's likely to delay quite a lot once the push actually comes to A, if it comes to A. Liquid still has not committed to his site.
Did not look like Aces had put up the castle barricade up top inside of Connector and putting a rotate hole next to it, which is probably the most common and prevalent castle strategy that we see put on this exact setup. You see a rotate hole on the other side of the wall facing the mirror window. I'm not entirely certain how Rizraz has not been able to see nor hear this drone just yet, but he has his back to it, exposed up top of yellow stairs. If somebody could push Skylight, unlikely that he would be spotted, but could potentially drop and challenge with a drone escort. They'll find out if there's any roamers playing on the basement or the main floor. But right now, Mindfreak keeping everybody decently close to sight. I think that's because they realize that if Liquid is just simply taking the gunfights, which it does appear that they are, you're putting yourself in constant 50-50 positions. You either win or you lose. There really aren't any trades there for you to do, and if you do lose, that's a lot of value that your team is deprived of.
You can see a very passive B-bomb site defaulted all the way back to the connector mirror window, but the thing about that mirror window is it's so very easily disabled by one attacker rappelling onto the connector window. So if that happens, it's going to be on Mindfreak to have someone in a position to run out on that rappel. Otherwise, if Liquid doesn't go for it, then they're going to have to struggle with pushing into B throughout the rest of this round.
First logic bomb looks like it's going to go off, and that is going to be Rizraz at the top, who will get droned as well. He'll go inside a bathroom, and they will spray very smartly. A coordinated push to try to take out the Jaeger, but it does not bear any fruit whatsoever. However, the push up yellow will be halted by a smoke, at least temporarily, as you can still see tons of drones in action for Liquid. That's very smart drone economy, so to speak, as you can continuously use them even deep into the round. You see there's some just brief flank watch by Zig. He gets down, but Nesk is able to go for the trade. Kings gets eliminated. And you can see Plant now as Sexy Cake breathes in those toxic fumes, gets blown up by a Nitro Cell as Ace eliminates the Thermite of Zig. Rizraz jumps in and Yuke goes down, Nesk now too, and Mindfreak answering back. It's gonna leave just Bullet, who has all of the phones ringing of the defenders. First and foremost, he'll take down the Castle of Aces, leaving 2 left, Rizraz, Lusty, and Mag as well. 2 left at full health, 1 hurt. Doesn't really matter. Magnet playing smartly in connector behind that blown up mirror window, gets the final kill, and Mindfreak now on the board in round number 3.
A great job there from Mindfreak. The way that they handled that round was very wise. Like you said, Liquid just looking for fights right now. Now, it's clear that they don't seem to be executing a very organized strategy, which was their priority, seemingly, in the first map. They're just trying to get the fights, win the fights, because they're plenty capable of doing that. But now Mindfreak has caught whiff of that, and they're deciding not to get as aggressive as they once were. And it's just a back and forth between these teams. Now I'm expecting Liquid to maybe default back to, organized strategy and try to take it slow and look for more, more opportunities, at least strategically. But they did take that last round somewhat slow, and just in a kind of odd way where they were pushing up yellow stairs almost exclusively. That's a very dangerous prospect. I mean, yellow stairs doesn't leave you much to work with. And it seemed, and I don't want to believe this is true, it seemed like the reason they were pushing those yellow stairs was just because they saw the Jaeger playing at the top of them and they thought, hey, that might be an easy kill.
It could have been, and you can see that they also had like I said, they had a flank set up to be able to stop them on that push up. Yellow, Zig very smartly watching flank. You could have had potentially Nesk looking there, but doesn't really matter. Somebody was taking care of it. One of the biggest things that I'm surprised we're not seeing is an IQ. If anybody watches most of the Latin America teams, especially Team Liquid, the Valkyrie cams are a huge contributor to their success on defense. They're able to perpetually know where everybody is and be able to update their team. Because of this, you usually would see an IQ, which is an operator that has been brought by Mindfreak, but maybe they have particular strategies in mind on Consulate that they absolutely need the most usage out of this 5-operator lineup.
And they have brought an Ashe and a Buck, which is going to give them a lot of versatility in terms of soft destruction, as well as a Sledge. Didn't even notice that first run through. All the soft destruction you could possibly want. Now they're going to be cornering Zig, who is inside of the admin office. Doesn't look like he has much support on that position, but he's aware of the repel on that printer window. He's going to be calling it out to his teammates, maybe hoping for someone to go for that run out. Nesk will destroy Aces through the shield. What a job there from Nesk. And the Blackbeard, who could be very influential in this round, already down. Zig caught in a crossfire, getting flashbanged, though the attack can't possibly know that. Another run out from Liquid. Sexy Cake with the pistol. No respect. Rizraz and Magnet, though, are going to get 2 refrags of their own. That looks like it was admin office control. A lot of damage done here in both teams, but a successful return to the building from Sexy Cake.
So at worst, you're now completely even at 3 apiece. Losing the Hibana is detrimental, but is not a deal breaker on this on the particular site of lobby, because most of those hatches are already going to be open anyway. You could potentially use the Hibana maybe to apply some pressure onto the roamers. The Buck is just going to waltz right in Magnet, and Nesk, while getting the down, now has to scamper off, as Mindfreak should have relatively no issue being able to get them back up. Nesk is going to wait to see if anybody pushes him from inside of yellow, and this could just be a line all the way down to the landing. Nesk looking up, Rizraz looks down, and that is one less defender that they have to worry about. Just Bullet and Sexy Cake, but Bullet on the roam could be a big difference maker here. Could essentially be the wild card. Sexy Cake playing just inside of the antechamber. Great tracking. Takes down 1, but being traded off by Kings, leaving just the vigil of Bullet, a 2v1 clutch, but an operator who cannot be determined, the location of cannot be determined on drones. Magnet will now rotate just to yellow stairs, and Bullet's going to watch at the top. They have site control, which means that they could potentially get a plant off. Magnet holding the diffuser will start to do so, and that's going to be relying on Bullet to be able to get back to site, or else his team's chances of winning the round diminish greatly. 7-second diffuse goes off. You can see now Bullet trying to come back to site. Kings holding the angle on the doorway. Bullet around the corner. He'll see the Sledge, but Kings with a nicely lined up shot. That'll even us out at 2 apiece. Mindfreak, very methodical in their way that they did that clear, able to take so much control, and Liquid just unable to take it back.
And this is 2 in a row now for both teams. So I think this is probably going to be where we have Liquid go for a response. If they're unable to get it, they will have lost control over this map, and it will be a greater struggle in the long run. Remember, this is make it or break it for both of these two teams. You either win here and continue in the Invitational, or you lose and watch all the other guys go on. And that's not what anyone wants. So definitely tooth and nail here for both squads. As the defense comes out from Mindfreak downstairs, you can see on the scoreboard a very even split for Mindfreak. 2 and 3 kills are the only denominations, whereas on Liquid side, you've got a lot of different options.
Sexy Cake's had a very good day today. I think that is worth mentioning.
Oh, yeah.
The newest member, the 4 of them have played together, with the exception of Sexy Cake, for quite a long time. They are very notable and infamous members of the Latin America community. They are very much known quantities. Sexy Cake joining them seemed to be a step forward for the team. Obviously, there's always growing pains when you add a new member to the team. One was the member that they had played with on BRK, who still remains on BRK, but Sexy Cake essentially coming in some minor role adjustments to the team. But Sexy Cake's been able to flourish. He plays unconventional operators a number of times and has able to frag very effectively on support roles, which is something that teams can struggle with. A lot of teams we will see rely specifically on your entries or your roamers to be able to get the vast majority of the kills, but even when your entries go down, you still have Sexy Cake there to be able to rack them up, be it on operators such as Legion, Ying, Blitz, Vigil, Bandit, etc.
I mean, we've had Sexy Cake as well as Nesk having a pretty good match so far today. Those are definitely the standouts that you're going to be looking towards on this team and expecting performance from, so it stands to reason, to be honest. Now, it looks like a primary garage push from Liquid. They're going to see that there are pre-placed Bandit charges, and the Bandit of King not looking really to contest the garage too fervently. Here comes Bullet with the Thatcher. He's going to clear out those batteries, and now it's a pretty clear-cut thermite in through panel number 1, but will it be caught? Actually, seemingly going, oh, just a graphical error, and panel number 3 will be opened up.
It's a lot of room now that the attackers will have to be able to look in. Magnet eliminating Nuke, though. That's the Hibana down, so you've only got the Thermite still left. And oh my, Magnet in bad shape as he's under fire. We'll be able to get back inside, but could get caught on time. They are unable to capitalize on that. You can see Lusty with a beautiful shot on the Zig, and Mindfreak looking to try to take the lead on Consulate for the first time. They've been able to win 2 in a row. Can they make it 3? They do hold an advantage of 2. We have half the round to go to see, and there's still a lot of time and a lot of operators still up. 8 remain out of the 10. It's anybody's game.
A little bit aggressive there from Kings, but he's going to think better of it and fall back to the back end of White. Just got to wait out the time with only a minute left and man advantage. Don't want to throw this away by getting too cocky, and it looks like it's what he's doing as he push-ups to the White window. He is inches away from death as Nesk holds this angle. Here comes the utility from the attack as they throw down the smokes and the candelas. Sexy Cake gonna go for the push shortly. Kings with the aggressive hold. Lusty with the C4. What an excellent job from Lusty. And here comes Kings, but it's not gonna happen as 2 of the 2 attackers are holding that angle. He bites the dust, and with only 30 seconds, Bullet and Nesk have to find an opportunity. A little bit of damage there onto Lusty, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. As Nesk pushes up the yellow stairs, he cannot find the angle on the Jaeger. He will get Lusty on another peek, however, and Magnet is going to need to flank at this point. Otherwise, his team might lose this round as the defuse plant comes out. Here comes the Magnet flank. Can he get the defuse planter? He does. And while it was an excellent job from Liquid coming back in that round, Magnet will win it out. Mindfreak will put it on to 3-2, and they are accelerating here on Consulate.
I am very impressed on how that played. Nesk was not watching flank watch. They had marked many times, suspecting that there would be a push from the side of White Van, probably through a rotate in cafeteria. That was their focus. And around where both members of the attackers were looking one way, that punished Mindfreak when they were on defense now happens to Team Liquid. So they fall victim, and the pendulum swings the other way. The bigger story, though, is Mindfreak now has the lead on Consulate. It was only 2 rounds away from giving APAC a representative in the quarterfinals. Liquid almost on the ropes. They will go to Garage Cafeteria, where they have looked good in the past. They won it the previous time, lost Lobby, so they will go back to Garage. I wonder if they are successful here. If they don't close it out in the next round, probably another Lobby.
Attackers need to locate
I would
and
guess,
defuse
rather than going
bombs.
upstairs to Console. But speculation only takes us so far. They'll shoot out the middle, and yes, it does look like we're going to see the exact same mirror strategy, at least for the moment, applied to the Garage.
And that mirror strategy is, oof, it's very beautiful. Honestly, watching them execute this, again, it's the sort of thing, I mean, we've seen it a couple times. I've heard teams theorize about it, but I've never actually seen it executed at this level of play. So great job from Liquid bringing that forth. It's not going to matter, though, because we don't have a Thermite on the attack right now. Mindfreak not bringing a Thermite. Last time they lost the attack onto the basement because their Thermite died in the first 10-15 seconds of the round. This time they just haven't brought one. So clearly they're going to be focusing a lot more intensely on that top floor, middle floor control. Deal with the roamers, push down, use those 2 or 3 if you count Ash, soft destructors to open up that floor and piano and bathroom hallway and such, and then deal with the anchors of Liquid. Problem is, I think it was a very heavy roam game from Liquid, and that's definitely going to be quite a hurdle.
Same composition that they used to attack Lobby. And this is fine on Lobby, but a little puzzling that they wouldn't bother to bring a Thermite to take care of those garage walls. Like you said very rightly, their whole plan fell apart right as the round started. Once again, key to this strategy is the Valkyrie cams, or are the Valkyrie cams. You can see a great entry right now from Mindfreak, as both Bullet and Sexy Cake have essentially been trapped inside of Console office. Bullet now will try to push up to Projector. The down table sits, maybe to try to get some cover as the Valkyrie cams trying to gather information. Bullet, though, able to eliminate Kings, and that is wonderful for them as Nesk now takes out Rizraz, and Mindfreak, a terrible start to this round.
Excellent roaming from Liquid, catching Mindfreak in a crossfire, expecting this exact strat from Mindfreak, knowing that they're going to try and do something differently given that mirror window on the main garage wall. Seeing concussions come out and slow down this attack even more as Aces attempts to push in through main reception. Lusty not going to expect Bullet on the left side of this connector. Bullet only has 1 HP, but he's got his ability. Will it help him? Yes, it will. Lusty bites the dust, and as Aces pushes through, he will hit a concussion, but secure the kill anyway. Sexy Cake, though, is there to refrag, helping out his teammate, and leaving Magnet, the last attacker left, alive. Diffuser down upstairs and only 1 minute to work with. In a 1v5, he's going to need to ace to win.
Position given away for just a second. Sexy Cake manages to finish it up, and they'll equalize.
Liquid, good round there. I mean, Mindfreak, they had a great idea. I like it. Don't deal with the main garage panel with the way that Liquid's trying to deny you that. I mean, it's honestly, it would be really hard. And instead opt to go for a roam clear and push down. Thing is, Liquid's roam is notoriously good, and unfortunately, interestingly as well, Mindfreak hasn't been roam clearing nearly as well as they did on either Cafe or Chalet. I mean, that was those two on those two maps. Their roam clear was ruthless, absolutely disgusting.
Take a look at how top-heavy Liquid is right now. Bullet, Nesk, and Sexy Cake are doing all of the work in terms of kills for the team, while the rest are chipping in on the support style of side. Mindfreak, though, a bit more even and consistent. We've seen this actually for the last 2 days, with the exception of Rizraz's individual effort against Room Factory when he dropped something like 12 or 13 kills yesterday. It has largely been the rest of the team all kind of sharing in the workload, showing that whether you're an anchor, whether you're support, whether you're flex, etc., you're still able to contribute in terms of kills, while also hoping that your utility and gadgets are applied correctly. No matter what happens, we will go to match point, and we see the conclusion draw ever near of what has been a very exciting and surprisingly more even affair than I think a lot of people anticipated heading into this. Both teams showing that they deserve to be in this spot, and I think that no matter what, there will be a tough opponent, no matter who wins in the actual Invitational itself.
Slow start to the round, 30 seconds in. Liquid going to be looking to clear admin office possibly. I've got a lot of choices here, as it is a top floor defense. They can come all the way from below, go in towards B, or just take admin into A with the use of the A balcony. It's all up to them and where the opportunities arise. As they opened up the wall into B, they're going to find there is no one anchoring in that position. Mindfreak instead employing a strategy of using that mirror window in the connector, I believe, which they have been fond of in the past.
Zig or Yuke just repelled up, still trying to wait to go in. Kings and Lusty in a situation where if they can manage to take control of admin, then they can really begin their assault. And both members of Mindfreak that are currently posted up there, both Lusty and Kings, fall, then I would imagine that most of that defensive strat is going to completely unravel and leave too much work for your site players, who right now are Magnet and Aces with Rizraz not too far off. Oof. You can see vertical pressure, a wonderful throw from Zig to try and pop the Mira, and he will get it. His intended target is that mirror window, and it is blown open. That will cause Lusty to now have to move, which means that admin control could be a little bit easier for you. You have managed to push them off without using any real gadgets other than a frag grenade, no operator utility, and have also been able to open up admin control without sacrificing a potential member of your team.
And here they go, pushing into the office that they now control. As they open up the castle barricade with that grenade, they're also going to open up into the small cafeteria. Zig with that soft destruction going to be oh so useful in this round. He's going to have to face Kings, who's playing a not very dynamic position and will not get flashed, but will get eliminated by Sexy Cake regardless. Rizraz with refrag and Yuke with one of his own onto Rizraz as he pushes aggressively into this attack. 40 seconds in the round, and Liquid is looking pretty strong as they attempt to open up the back of the A bomb site. Thatchers and Habanas both go down, but Lusty with the aggression of his own, eliminating Bullet. Not going to get any of the Habana charges, just trying to hold his angles on the retreat, like this spot here inside of Reception. His teammate of Smoke, Magnet, trying to hold the top of Vista Stairs push from Zig. Can it be another one from Lusty? Just a little bit of light up on both players. They're all on 1 HP. Yuke wins the fight. Zig gets the site, and Magnet goes down. Ace is the last defender. He gets 2! Only Nesk to find in this 1v1. 5 seconds to go. Nesk is in the pressure situation right now. He's going to take some damage onto the castle. Nesk gets dropped! Oh no! Nesk falls down under the site and cannot kill the castle, losing the round for his team. And Mindfreak hold on, put it into match point, and it looks incredibly strong for them right now as they go on to attack.
The Aussies within one of what will be a historic finale should they pull through. Lobby is where Liquid is going to go. They were not successful the only other time they went here. They will run a composition that will allow them to play aggressively off-site and gather information while denying it from the attackers. It looks like a Ying Glaz strat will be the push for Mindfreak, as we could potentially be 4 minutes away from B Rainbow Six history.
I cannot help but shake my head at this outcome right now. I mean, we're not finished yet. This is definitely a heated battle between these two teams, but my gosh, I was not expecting it to go to match point at any point in this series point for Mindfreak. I wasn't thinking that was going to happen. They've done an amazing job. I mean, we said it a couple times already. I feel like maybe talking about it too much, but still, to be honest, it is mind-blowing. It really is. Even if they lose here, even if Mindfreak loses here, if Liquid manages to come back, they're still going to be like, yeah, no, we did a great job. And I think they've earned a lot of people's respect in the public eye.
I think what we're going to see is Liquid get extraordinarily aggressive and take fights right off the bat. They're going to try to deny at least the early push from Mindfreak. And if Mindfreak loses 1 or 2 within the first minute or so, that'll spell disaster for the rest of their strategy. Expect that from Liquid, unless they decide to opt for a more conservative style. But I would say you take that fight. We've seen Nesk do it a couple times, be able to get a frag within the first minute, and that has made Mindfreak stumble. Right now, their biggest entry point is going to be, or biggest issue is going to be with their entry, involving the fact that most windows have been smashed open. You can see that they have a couple playing downstairs that will be able to use that to pause. I think Aces sees the camera and takes care of it. That might be 2 cams still inside. Sexy Cake looked like he was going to be able to jump out and maybe contest that Blackbeard, but they likely don't have another camera outside that will aid them on this site.
So that almost run out from Sexy Cake was, I think, telling of what you were expecting. That aggression from Liquid, but he didn't commit to it. And that right there is hesitation, nothing else. Now, I think rightfully so. Probably a good call there. Still, though, that's not typical Liquid, and they need typical Liquid to win this match. As they defend the middle floor, they also have to hold on to the top floor, which Aces is attempting to pressure. Still plenty of time here for Mindfreak as they start to lay down some smokes and do a little bit of time denial. Or not time denial, but at least disruption. Bait out the C4, bait out the gas canisters. That's why you're laying down those preemptive smokes. But luckily for Liquid, they are not getting baited. Visa control in favor of Liquid as Bullet is playing that position. Question is, will the attack be aware of it given the fact that it is a Vigil holding this position? Only 1 minute left now for Mindfreak, and they have yet to establish control over anything at all.
Bullet just waiting for the entry. Zig trying to hang over top of the hatch. This is the most pressure and the most set of expectations that Mindfreak has faced so far in these qualifiers. Facing an opportunity to advance, Liquid gets the first 2 early frags, but amidst the shroud of smoke, it looks like the Ying of Magnet will get the diffuser down. The C4 misses by just a hair. Ace is eliminating Uke. They just need to hang on. He will see another, but can't finish him off. He'll get down as Bullet runs out. That will leave it all up to Kings to try and stagger those working on the diffuser. He sees them being worked away. He'll get under fire, but Liquid will snatch victory and will move us to overtime. What a push from Mindfreak, but Liquid a masterful answer. Nesk working away at that diffuser, shielded enough by the railing or banner next to him. No real chance for Mindfreak. And of course, we go to overtime and what has been a significant back and forth already.
You know, a lot of people are probably going to be pointing at that Thatcher and say, oh man, you really should have hit that shot. But to be honest, hitting an Ella whose head is bobbing up and down as she attempts to disable the diffuser with only being able to see her hands and her head as they, again, go up and down and up and down. That's a difficult shot. You know, especially in a pressure situation where you have every other Liquid member running out on you. It was a really nice try, though. The fact that Mindfreak managed to get the defuse plant in the first place absolutely blew my mind. 10 kills from Sexy Cake with some good follow-up from Bullet and Nesk. Zig and Uke not really waking up as much, but that's reflected as well on the Mindfreak side of things. But they've just had a very much more even split across their members, as well as winning a lot more rounds based off objective and less off of kills. Mindfreak has been very focused on getting that defuse plant or disabling the diffuser or just holding the sites in general. So, bottom basement from Mindfreak.
Zig and Uke were instrumental in that last push and being able to clutch out the round. They only had 2 kills apiece, I think, like 2 rounds ago. Now they're sitting at 8. So they have woken up more than anything despite their team's fortunes. We saw Mindfreak win 1 on their defense, and now defense, a successful defense for Team Liquid. The defense has been the better side. The team that can defend more likely wins. Right now, that favors Mindfreak at the moment. So, if what we've looked at so far over the previous 8 rounds holds true, the defensive side will be favored, and right there alone will be something that Mindfreak can feel a bit more confident on. Oh, and Rizraz, a beautiful shot onto Nesk. Oh my, from above manages to take out the Ash from below right as Lusty's Miro went down, and that is a lot of weight off of the shoulders right now of Mindfreak. Your entry will have to make a change. You can see Bullet and Zig likely will now have to focus on applying that push onto the actual garage itself. You have Zig watching yellow just to see if anybody will push up itself. And more Liquid members now moving towards the cafeteria as Sexy Cake looks to possibly drone himself in, make sure there's nobody that's going to be able to push.
Liquid has a lot of time to work with still, but they've lost one of their best fragging operators. Sexy Cake and Uke with a nice shot onto Rizraz, and now both teams have lost their main fragging operator in Ash and Ella. Rizraz and Nesk unable to influence this round anymore, and half of it has transpired. All Mindfreak needs to do is just delay a little bit longer, but they're going to have to push into, or Liquid's going to have to push into that back hallway. An interesting strategy here from Liquid. The problem with it is that you're kind of isolating yourself to 2 bottlenecks. That's all you have to push with. This back hallway continuation in towards pipes and the main door to A. So it's going to come down a lot to disruption, which Liquid has plenty of. But still a dangerous attack. Diffuser looks like it wants to go inside A.
And Magnet fells Sexy Cake as he sprints inside. As all the Candelas go off, there won't be much out of it as Sexy Cake had gone down, and Magnet gets Zig. What is going on with Liquid's push at the moment? What a shot from Magnet, and the C4 takes out Yuke. Once again, Mindfreak will go back to match point. Couldn't close it out last time. Will they this time? They get one more chance at least.
You know what I love about that round from Mindfreak? They put one C4 on each of the two places. Again, those two bottlenecks that Liquid possibly could have pushed. There was no other option for Liquid, and they ultimately had to walk into those C4s. They had a Thatcher, I believe, so they possibly could have countered that, but with only 15 seconds, it's not going to happen. So Mindfreak, great defense. Can they win the attack, or will we go to OT, match point, series point?
This is almost surreal to me. The garage defense so far for Liquid has looked very good. We saw that Mindfreak realized the way that the mirror strat was working last time and tried to make a course correction. They put a lot of pressure upstairs onto the second floor, but ultimately could not outsmart nor outgun the roamers and the off-site players of Liquid. It really depends. Are we going to see a potential another strategy emerge from Mindfreak? Are they going to try to attack that garage? A strategy that for Liquid has worked very, very well against a number of opponents, against a number of skill levels.
They do have a Thermite on Mindfreak, so it's possible that they are going to go for the main panel. You can see Magnet's drone is outside of the main garage panel. There's also a Zofia, who is instrumental at disabling the common anchor spots inside of the main garage. So those common anchor spots consisting of pipes, yellow pillar, and back of white. You can put a Zofia, or I guess a Gersmot, onto all three of those positions, or specifically from the lifeline, then you will have a very good go of it as an attacking squad. It all comes down to burst. Can the team execute all at the same time? Another thing is, there are no smokes on Mindfreak, so if they choose to go for that strategy, it's going to be all raw fragging power.
They've made a couple changes, right? They were been bringing a lot of Ying on that site in particular. It hadn't really worked, so they make a change. But Ace, oh man, Sexy Cake falls. The Ella on the roam up top. Look to get a little cheeky, and Mindfreak only needs 4 more to solidify this victory over Liquid. You can see right now that the Blackbeard and the Thermite posted just by the garage, potentially going to see if anybody challenges them if they push. There's no bandit to really worry about, so they won't have too much. They're going to be relying very heavily on that mirror strategy. If you can somehow find a way to distract or push off Zig, potentially through Rizraz and that lifeline, you can get that garage relatively uncontested. But right now, Magnet, who is looking at yellow stairs, starting to move around, bullet up top, now just waiting to see, potentially going for a run out, a risky gamble, and one that could be burning them now.
Looks like he's taking a shot from the Blackbeard as he is down to about a third of his HP with the run out. Kings on his drone will bite the dust, and that's one of the top frags for Mindfreak, as well as one of the top frags for Liquid, now out of commission on this overtime match point. Thermite charge coming up to the main garage. Will it be C4'd? Yes, it will. But Thermite manages to get out, and there is no more C4, which means that Magnet's going to be able to go back to that panel with his second charge and still open it up. Amazingly well done job there from Mindfreak, expecting the C4 and getting out just in the nick of time. Now, above the spiral is Bullet as he attempts to collapse down onto the lower spiral, but Rizraz is going to take out Nesk. Will there be a refrag from Bullet?
No, Rizraz is second.
2 for Rizraz. He has control over the back hallway.
And only 40 seconds. It's Yuke and Zig. Zig has lost a lot of health. He will challenge on the mirror. Lusty takes him down. It's all up to Yuke. He's coming in to push, but inside a cafeteria sees Rizraz. Rizraz gets it. The Aussies do it, and APAC will make it to the quarterfinals.
What an amazing job. What just happened? Mindfreak just beat Team Liquid. It wasn't even them having an off day. Team Liquid went through several iterations of their own style of play. They started with strategic. They later defaulted back to the more typical old school Liquid. Heck, we saw Nesk playing on Valkyrie. That is his old school. That's his fallback. He was not playing Ella. He wanted to go back to what he knew, and it was working for him. Liquid was playing formidably, but Mindfreak was playing